why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person, you don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid?
Polite about it.
It's just not the polite way to have sex.
That's just really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say, that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's that's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise.
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. I summon the ghost into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts. So this is where the ghost lives, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel. Gross. Nothing. Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as a ghost. There's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test. Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested. Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the teat of the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, you know, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this.
You didn't set me up right.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you.
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have. I mean, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
You know, you probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism. And they say they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week, and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and like look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah, you're being stopped from skateboarding.
Everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. It's that time of the week when you get to hear us take calls from Street Fight listeners. And this week it's a very special episode of the call-in show. It's the Anyone But Cis Dudes edition of the call-in show. You may have seen the poster. Thank you to Gina, aka Lermworm. You can find her on Twitter and Facebook. One of our favorite artists to work with, and who will be doing a shirt for us soon. That being said, we are doing a pre-order right now for a Street Fight Skull t-shirt, black shirt with skulls on it. Can't miss with that. So we have a long sleeve version that's done by an obelisk is his name, Dan, as you may have known him from the Street Fight zines. He made an awesome cover for the metal zine, so the cover for the metal zine has now become a t-shirt. We're taking pre-orders from that, and I talked to him about what he wanted to do, and he said the Providence, Rhode Island chapter of Food Not Bombs is who we will give a third of our profit to. So raise money for a good cause, get a cool shirt, and a Street Fight shirt, one that says Street Fight Radio on it, something that I don't think has ever been done. We've had shirts that say Street Fight, but never radio, so first of its kind. That's available at store.streetfightradio.com, and if you're a member of the Patreon at any level, you get a bonus code every single month for 20% off everything in the store. So go check it out if you want to support the show. Let's do what we do and spread this mess across the U.S. For those of you that don't know who we are, I'm Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. We're Street Fight Radio, #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. And tonight we're taking your calls. That number to dial is 614-655-3887. And we're looking to hear from anyone but cis dudes. So please do not get flushed. Please do not embarrass yourself. Stay off the line if that doesn't describe you. And you can call back next week, you know, when it's regular old shit. This week we have very special guests in the studio with us, Kristen from Columbus, also a member of the Columbus DSA, very active member.
The member.
The member.
Columbus DSA.
The most important member.
Number one member.
That is absolutely not true.
Well,
number numero uno.
Shocking that socialists run a strict hierarchy, but you are in fact the #1 member of the Columbus DSA.
The president of the Columbus DSA.
The God Empress of the Columbus
Yes.
DSA.
Yes.
Got there through succession, not through any sort of voting means or anything.
That's right.
Handed to you on a platter.
Or worked not at all, actually.
Didn't work. Didn't lift
People
a finger.
feed her grapes at the meetings. Hunks feeding her grapes.
That's true. Even during a pandemic, I make them come feed me my grapes.
Yeah, that's important. Big roller coaster of emotions for the past few days, but it looks like El Presidente is going back home.
Yeah,
so,
what
are you gonna do, man?
Figured he'd beat it.
He pulled through. You know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You can't fucking. You can pray for the death of someone and it doesn't happen, you just move on to praying some more, you know?
Yep. And it has been a very light past couple of days. There's been a lot of frivolity and fun online with this whole mess that they're in. But yeah, now it's back to regular shit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We got a few more days.
They were talking about his treatment, and it was like one of the things was aspirin, and the other one was melatonin. And I'm like, you don't have to call that treatment. That's like not a drug that, you know. If that's the fucking case, I'm on treatment. Except for the aspirin. I don't take a lot of aspirin. It's because I don't get headaches because my head's very strong. It's like a lot of strength I have like up in this area, my intelligent brain. I don't get headaches.
Interesting.
You know? It's just something about me.
Bullied them away.
I say, hey, you stay out of my head, headaches, and they do. They stay the fuck out. So that's been the weekend. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Not the worst time.
Yeah.
I don't think. You know? His poll numbers went down, which I found to be completely shocking and weird to me. Because, like, your poll numbers go down when you get sick is a weird concept to me. Like, I usually... Okay. I wonder... I guess we don't have Katie here, so she can't answer. Do my poll numbers go down when I'm sick? Is the real question. You know?
You probably get sympathy, right?
You think so?
I would think so.
I've heard I'm not a very fun guy to be around when I'm sick. I've just heard some things, you know? I mean, you've been around me when I'm sick. Do my poll numbers go up or down?
I don't really remember it.
When we were in California?
Oh, you powered through that.
Thank you. So my poll numbers go up when I'm sick because I'm powerful.
I was impressed, yeah.
And strong. Trump, apparently not. His poll numbers go down.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What do you think about your poll numbers? I don't really see you sick very much.
What are my poll numbers? Usually just sleep. I just go into a coma. Basically, I stop eating and I sleep as much as I can, and then that's when I a few days later I come back.
So Erica's like, it's up. You think you go up with Erica or down?
I don't know.
Movement of the polls.
I think I go up. She's big into sympathy. She does like to do the baby stuff.
It's nice.
Or
Kristen,
get me stuff.
Do your poll numbers go up when you're sick or down?
I would say down. I'm usually pretty like gross when I'm sick.
Oh, okay.
Like,
what about your husband though? Where do his poll numbers go?
Oh, he's a big baby.
Yeah, so his go down too.
Go down.
See, that's the thing. This fucking Trump, he must be a baby. I don't know how your poll numbers go down like 9 points when you're sick. It's the wildest thing. Because Americans, when he got sick, the first thing I thought was like, this motherfucker's going to win the election off of this. You know? Because people are just going to be like, especially, I thought there were going to be libs that are like, this is going to change him. He's going to be a different person after this, you know?
There's been some of that.
Is there?
Yeah, there's been some of that.
Can't even imagine that, thinking that. But, like, I just figured people were going to, like, take a lighter tone with them. But apparently those poll guys were calling people, and people were like, man, fuck this guy, he's sick.
Yeah, we got to find something else.
What kind of a loser gets sick? So I've been thinking about that all weekend. Just as soon as I saw those numbers earlier today, where it was like, I think 41 to 52, I was like, how in the fuck does that happen?
Especially because all the Q people think that this is a cover, that he's going and doing some kind of sting right now. Like they're finally like going out and imprisoning all of his enemies or something.
Yeah, this is the last.
That's tight though. So he said he was sick, and now he's like in some other country, like shooting
pedophiles.
He's killing pedophiles somewhere. And like he's sneaking up on them with the knife and like cutting their throats and shit.
Yes, he's got piano wire and he's dragging out every high-ranking pedophile.
He's Trump from the Rambo flag that they all have.
Yes.
You know, he's actually him. That
like
whole
Ben Garrison Trump.
Yeah, that whole thing inside that suit is all muscle. I know we all looked at that and we were like, "Oh, this guy is not looking good." But that's actually all muscle in there.
Yep.
So,
that's
what goes on with that guy. That's my Trump theory.
Okay.
I'd love to know from callers, where your poll numbers go when you're sick. Apparently mine go up because I'm powerful. Brett respects power and strength. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is.
I like somebody. I like somebody that takes care of themselves, and what I mean by takes care of themselves is like a NyQuil until you pass out for like 16 hours, and doesn't make a word.
Are you the type of dude? Let me ask you this about yourself, because this is a good question. Are you the type of dude that? Because this is who I am. Yeah, won't admit you're sick until like 8 days in, when you can't when it's like I cannot get out of bed without because I'll barf. I'll have like food poisoning, and I'll be like, no, man, I'm okay. It don't matter.
No, I've gotten over that.
Oh, really?
It's pretty. I mean, like if I feel crummy, I'll just like usually take a nap. I usually take a nap as soon as if I feel a little crummy, and I'll just let Erica know what's up. Like, hey, I'm about to take a nap, and we'll see what happens when I get up. But I usually shut it down early. Like I
can't. I don't want to admit it because then that means you're sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem with me is like, I think I have in my brain. And, if I did have what I thought were COVID symptoms once, and we took a week off. So like, it's not like that's not what I'm saying. If I had COVID symptoms, I would absolutely say something. But in normal times, I think I have in my mind that like, if you don't say you're sick in your head, you aren't sick.
Yeah.
So like I've had the flu for a couple days before I was like, you know what? You need to like get in bed and like handle it. Or I've had diarrhea for a few days and just been like, that's just your shits, dude. That's just the way your life works.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel for me, I've never powered through long-term symptoms, but I do have to say, like, if I get a sniffle or if I'm like, my throat is scratchy, I'm going to take a 2-hour nap or I'm going to pause things. And I'm like, 2 hours later, it's fine. I'm like, you didn't need to do all that. That was a bullshit thing, which is fine. I'd rather do that than convince myself that my brain is deciding how sick I'm going to be.
Katie's extremely like, I never seen anybody. Well, I have seen people like this, but like, if she even gets a scratch one time in her throat and coughs 2 times, she goes and buys Emergen-C.
Yeah.
And I always tell her, no way that stuff works. There's not even a possibility that it works. But you know what? Fucking get it. If it makes you feel like it's working, get it? I think that stuff's a scam. And now 9 callers will call tonight and yell at me for this.
This is not the call for that. This is not the show for that, because my wife has 2 bottles of it sitting right up there for a moment's notice. As soon as she feels a drip on her nose, she's like, all right, emergency. It's an emergency right now.
Katie always wants me in emergency. There was this period where Snapple was making these like new agey drinks.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a tangerine mango one, and it had echinacea in it. And I had watched an independent movie where one of the characters said echinacea prevents you from getting sick. So I drank it every single day. It's just a sugary ass drink with probably 2 like somebody just like
essence.
Yeah, the essence of echinacea. And I was just like, yeah, I don't get sick because of the Snapple, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
It's like medicine.
Green tea is my ancient medicine that I like.
Yeah.
It makes you not sick.
I don't use any of that stuff. I kind of, if I get a cold, what I do is I fucking go and I lay in my bed and I buy I have every over-the-counter drug that you could ever possibly have. And I just like, I'm like, what if you put 2 NyQuil with a Sudafed and you see what that fucking does? If that's the magic mixture.
Sure.
I'm Mr.
You're Doc Pemberton, the guy that created Coca-Cola.
I'm Doc Pemberton. I always think that there's like Alka-Seltzer.
Right.
With a little bit of zinc and a Sudafed. That'll do it. That's going to make me feel... And I always... in my brain, it's like... Yeah, that's going to, make me feel normal. I always think the medicine's going to make me feel normal. And it makes you feel worse.
Just mass
than
symptoms.
Dayquil makes you feel worse than any drug
Dayquil
I've
is
ever had in my
terrible,
life. I've never felt as bad.
It's kind of, it's one of those, it's like a bad trip where like by the end of it, you're like, I hated every single moment of that, but I kept it cool, and nobody at work thought I was a fucking weirdo, even though I felt like I was on. You feel like internally like you're at the top of a Ferris wheel. Like you just feel like you're descending from a Ferris wheel the whole time, and you're just trying to talk to people like, yeah, I saw that instance in the report as well, you know, and inside you're just upside down.
I can't believe they send people to work on that shit. Like, that's what that stuff's for.
It does get it. I mean, it erases everything, but at a big cost.
It's worse than drinking, honestly.
Yeah, but it's just as powerful. I mean, it gets you. It's like you felt one way, and then an hour later, you're a different person now. Yeah. Like it works on demand, like you know, like having a 6-pack would.
Absolutely. Let's get some calls in, man.
Ready to take these calls,
fella? That's the last time I'm going to say "man" this episode.
Thank you. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Uh-oh.
Hello? Oh,
hey, who's this?
Oof.
This is Jordan from Arkansas. Sorry for the delay. I heard 2 beeps, so I didn't know if it was me or not.
We're Mr. Beeps. What's going on tonight, Jordan?
Nothing much. How are y'all?
Feeling pretty good.
Just punched in.
About to crate it up. Yeah, we just punched the clock real quick, and we're ready to take some calls. What's up?
Nothing much. I actually, since it is the No Fisted episode, and we're kind of on this kind of thing, I wanted to ask for y'all's advice on how to deal with parents. So I'm trans, and my mom misgenders me and dead names me all the time still. And I told her like 3 years ago, and I've been transitioning for 5 years or so. So I was wanting to know if y'all had any advice as parents and as kids how to deal with that.
Oh man, that hurts so
how
bad.
It does.
I don't think I mean I couldn't I don't even know if I could understand what that's like. I don't know.
They're asking us as parents though.
I mean,
which is like a different muscle. I don't think me and you have any way to tell somebody how to deal with some of this stuff, but I think I could tell you that, you know, obviously I'm a different person, and my if my daughter came out, I would, you know, do everything I could to make her feel comfortable. Have you expressed like I think like the thing with me is like when my kid expresses to me that I've made her feel bad, I want to know why. And I'm sure you've expressed that how it makes you feel, but have you expressed sort of like in an almost apolitical fashion, I think, just internally how that makes you feel to her?
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple of times before, and we kind of talked about how it makes me feel, but it still kind of keeps on happening. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to like call her out necessarily and be an asshole, right? But I do want to like say, you know, this means a lot to me. I need to be called by my pronouns and my name.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you getting a lot from her otherwise? I mean, besides that stuff, is she adding, like, is she giving you good advice? Is she helping you do any other things you want in your life, or?
Yeah, I mean, my mom is super supportive. Like, an example is I actually just proposed to my boyfriend of a long time, and she kind of helped plan that out, and she helps do other things in my life. So she's not like, and I don't think she's a bad person or she's trying to be mean. It's just like I've lived so long as this, you know, one person under this one name and these gender pronouns, and now I have a new name. My name that should have been named, and my genders I should have been called my whole life, but she didn't know that.
So does she like affirm your identity? She just like forgets, or it's just a negligence thing?
I think sometimes she does, but the majority of the time she doesn't. And I think it's both an like negligence thing, and also sometimes when I do call her out, or I have called her out on it in the past, she just reverts back. So it's almost like a both instinctual thing of going back what was the past and kind of just not caring sometimes too, or not putting an effort in, I guess is more the term I would use.
So this is going to sound really hokey, but if she's generally a supportive person and, you know, isn't trying to be malicious, then even though I know this is a serious thing, a way that you can, you know, point it out regularly when she makes the mistake is literally to do like a cuss jar, but like a "Mom, you misgendered me again" jar. I mean, and be like, you have to put $1 in this jar every time you so you have a funny way to point it out, but you're making the point regularly.
Jesus, that almost like, because moms are also hokey too. Like, I think that of wives, and I have one, so I'm allowed to say that. I think.
Like, only if it would be like comfortable for you to do it, but sometimes with me I have a hard time like feeling like I'm bringing down the vibe, but that would be a way that would be kind of lighthearted, but also you're like, I'm serious, I'm gonna point this out every single time you do it. So
yeah, because I can't imagine
5 years is a lot. I mean, I probably would not get it right for a year if my kid said I have a new name that I chose.
This is 3 years.
And that's why this is so long. It just really, I think there needs to be. I don't know what your situation is like, but I don't know if there is groups that you could go to talk this out with somebody else or a mediator or somebody, but it just seems like there needs to be something like, I was going to tell you to run out on her, was what I was going to say.
That's
you need
Brett's
to scare
solution.
the shit out of her and think she'll never see her kid again, and then come back and see what the respect looks like. But
that's the Brett Payne, Brian Quinby solution for all things with parents. Never talk to them again.
Yeah, I cut my parents out because they were not supportive of me, and it wasn't anything to that degree, but
you can put the fear in them. You can put some real fear into them.
It's the only leverage that you have.
Yep.
is your time and your presence in their life. And like that's obviously a last ditch and not something I would recommend to people, like, but like at a certain point, if it were a boyfriend or a boss or a friend who was doing that to you regularly and just like, you know, not changing at all, that would be my advice. Like at some point, this person is just like not respecting you, and you have to like, you know,
can I ask
the leverage that you have? But
can I ask you, because I think I might be onto something here. How old are you, Jordan?
I am 25.
That's the thing. You're at the age, I know where you're at right now, and I was there too, and Brett was there, and every single person has a reckoning with their parents at some point in their 20s. And it's usually in the late 20s where you're like, for me, it was like, I feel like I have to love them and I have to be there for them. You know what I mean?
Obligation. You feel
they're my
obligation.
parents, and they're important because society has told me that my parents are super important.
Well, they are too,
and they are important. They do. I mean, mine fucked me up.
They can be.
Mine spent a lot of time fucking me up. So
yeah.
But the thing is, like, you're at an age where there is friction with you, where like every single person and like, you know, not every single person has friction with their parents at your age. You are, but like you're dealing with something that's like a lot more deep than a lot of us deal with, or than me and Brett can understand. But I can say that like at your age, there is a push and pull with your parents because your parents still think that you're the kid. Like, but you are an
about
adult.
To get fucking married.
Yeah, you're about to get married. You're an adult, but your parents still think you're just a little kid that played Nintendo all the time while they, you know, were at work or whatever. And that's like where the issue is. I think your mom probably, in my mind, just to try to get on her in her mind, probably doesn't quite like understand that this is a thing that like has been going on your whole life. She thinks this is a thing that's been happening for 3 or 4 years, you know? And like I know to you that reads like disrespect. I like totally understand that, but to older people 3 years feels a hell of a lot shorter than to younger. Like I'm 40, and when you say 3 years, I'm like, oh, that's 3 minutes actually.
Yeah.
You know? Like I've been with my wife for 20 years. And so like it's like your mom probably it's reiterating to your mom like, hey, like this isn't a phase and this hurts me and it makes me feel bad and I'm an adult and like I would like you to deal with this because it's not a thing that's going to go away. It's not like when I was really into whatever embarrassing band you were into when you were 12. You know, it's like this is a different thing because I think your mom may be thinking of it that way too, like almost like a different fashion sense or something. And like it's just people that are, people that are I'm 41 and people my age are still grappling with trying to understand trans issues. And like, you know, you're talking to two guys that like are of an age that would have a trouble understanding it, but we are sort of immersed in a world where, you know, it's something that we respect and we know, and that we know we've met a lot of people. But like, I think like she's going to come around, and I think it's going to take a lot of correction. And I know that feels really bad and that it's not something that you should have to deal with.
Yeah.
But old people are old. Trust me, I'm very old. And I don't know how I got where I am, but I am set in my ways in a lot of other things, you know?
It's also kind of hard, like, as you get older and grow into adulthood to, like, start to see your parent as not somebody who's like in charge of you or has this like direct power over you, but seeing them as a fellow adult.
Yeah.
And so like think about how you would address this with like a close friend or somebody who's like on your level, and just be like, this is a fellow adult. I need to treat them like an adult, and I need them to treat me like an adult. Because, yeah, I think Brian's right. She probably thinks it's some kind of phase and you'll grow out of it if she just ignores it. But she's got to really understand, like, no, this is who I am as a person. You're telling me, like, you know, you don't accept me, who I am, when you do this. Me, the person that, you know, you raised. This is who I've always been. So, yeah, I think Brian's right that she'll come around. It'll just take some time.
Yeah, and I'll just the capstone on that. What I wanted to say is that, you know, parents are a relationship that you have, and that will help you grow as a person. They're somebody that you can try out all kinds of techniques of conflict resolution with, and there's somebody that can teach you patience. There's somebody that can teach you about forgiveness. And then ultimately, Kristen is right in that once you stop, if you can distance yourself from what her opinion about anything of who you are, you know, and just see them as just, you have to accept that they're just another person on the street. Like that's what it became for me too, is like, there are just literally another person. Like they did happen to have me, but I'm living a whole ass life. That is valid and real, and you know that you know they need to respect like you would expect from anyone else. So, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. Can I plug my stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my Twitter is @blueberrystones with a Z. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I can't believe I'm at a point in my life where I'm explaining the parents' point of view on something. Like, I would have never thought I'd get there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, sometimes parents are really cool. No.
Is that your message?
They never are.
Yeah, parents.
No, mine's like no parents.
Parents just don't understand. It's true.
Yeah, they don't understand at all.
Still true.
Hell no. Let's get we had some people that were going to call, but they can't get through because the phones are busy
stop.
or they don't know how to dial a phone.
Stop.
Okay.
I'm about to prove your ass wrong right now.
Don't prove me wrong. Let's see it.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
It's your girl. What's up?
How's it going?
Simone.
Oh my God.
Good.
Listen, we wanted you to call in. This is Simone.
Local honey.
This is Local Honey?
Local Honey.
This is Local Honey.
Oh my God.
Big fan.
And she is the first woman in the Street Fight Radio family that's actually has a creative role.
Oh, stop.
Oh, God.
Wow.
It feels great to throw a hammer and sickle at the glass ceiling, finally.
Yes.
Well, my wife is in the... We have women that are with us,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's women in the orbit. They're
Yeah.
like orbiting around. They're spinning through the galaxy of the Street Fight universe.
But Simone is officially here. Except for we don't employ you. Means does. But still.
Writing for the TV show, helping us out. We had the stutter start. It took a while to get things going, but we have a studio together. We have a production idea together. So we actually got to put stuff down on paper and figure out what the show's going to be. And it was a lot of fun.
It's going to be fantastic. And it was a weird summer. We were dealing with something. So I understand why it's been a summer of us kind of thinking about what this is going to look like and taking your time, and Nick and Naomi taking their time. And, now we kind of are ready to move forward, and it's going to be really funny and really cool.
It is. It's a weird time to write. And Katie was talking to me about this recently. At some point, me and Brett planned to be back out on the road touring, and she was like, are you? She's like, are you writing your COVID stuff? And I was like, I don't think we're gonna do it. And she's like, you have to. And I was like, I don't think you have to. But that's been some of the stuff with the TV show. It's like, okay, so we have this advantage in that everything is done on Zoom now. And you can do a lot of cool shit with Zoom, and it looks like regular TV. But it's also I do not want to go on this TV show and be like, oh, quarantine's crazy, huh? It's like Brett's got a beard over here, and
this is real garbage fire hell times we're all living through. Am I right?
Well, I'd like to go out sometime, but I can't because of COVID-19.
That is something I'm really struggling with, and I think that you guys have, the podcast to fall back on and the radio show, which is fantastic. But I don't do that stuff as much. And living in New York City, and I was performing live comedy like 5 times a week.
Wow.
And it was, it was awesome. And I had my own show, and right before COVID hit, I had my show had been accepted to this Manhattan solo artist festival, and I had a show lined up at a theater that I respect in the city, and I was all this stuff was popping off, and I just email by email, one by one, every single one of these shows got canceled over the course of 48 hours or whatever. And it has been, and whatever, boo-hoo, but it's been really hard.
Yeah.
To not have live performance anymore, and I fucking miss it, and I don't really want to get on a Zoom improv show or a Zoom stand-up show, I gotta say. Not funny, or some comedians make it work, but it's not for me. I just can't do it, and I really miss performing.
It's weird. I gotta say that it's me and Brett did one. And there were people we brought Kristen here, who's here now, and we had Katie and Brett. We had some people in the room watching. We got to gauge their kind of thing. And we could see the chat. But it's not the same. Yeah, the chat.
The chat's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's a different way to do things.
No, I think the chat is fun. I think the chat is fun in like a nice little conversational, like right now, like there's a chat going and like we're talking and it's all really nice and chill and you can interact with people. But when you're doing like a set,
right.
I can have a conversation and it can be humorous with you over a thing or whatever. We have a good time. But if someone asked me to do my like comedian set, and I'm doing that and reading in real time the feedback
right.
to my jokes that might be bad, which in a normal situation, you know, if someone doesn't like your set, you know, they're not going to laugh.
Right.
And that's fine. And you're trained to handle that as a comedian and you bomb constantly and you like know what that feels like and you get through it. And actually that's a moment where you can work with the silence and get used to it and kind of like get stronger for it. But when you are being told in real time like exactly why you and what you just said like sucks is not funny, it's just there is no way I can't recover from that, and it's just so not. You can't try to make it what it. You can't try and make it what it's not.
Yeah, I'm in a chat full of sycophants. I didn't mean like just random people that want to watch like an open mic comedy on Zoom. That sounds like terrorists.
Or there was like a DSA fundraiser Zoom comedy show where like Sarah Silverman was on it and Patty Harrison and like some really fun people, and I got to be on it and raise money for these socialists running for office in New York City, and so there were like 400 people on the thing, which is, I mean, I don't think I've ever performed for 400 people live before, so that's like a huge audience, and I don't know most of them, and one person in the middle of my set wrote, "Okay, this is getting annoying," and I was just like, how do I keep talking? At that point I would be like, okay, I think this has gotten annoying and I'd like to end my time. But you can't do it.
Brian, oh man.
Oh, I have a story.
I couldn't imagine you saying that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I actually have we used to perform at this place that had a back room that was really nice, that had like, it was just a room with black walls and like candles, and people that were not comedians actually showed up there to see the open mics. But they fucking decided to remodel that room, but not cancel the open mics. So me and Brett...
Oh, no!
They moved it to the front room of a restaurant. It's just as straight up as a restaurant and bar. People were
Gastropub, yeah.
Yeah, and people weren't there for comedy at all. They were there to eat their food, and the comedy was an annoyance we were assaulting them with. And I fucking got up on stage, and I don't remember the joke because like I blanked it out, but there were these two women sitting at a table right in front of the stage, right in front of me, okay? And I told a joke, and then I did that fucking thing that you do when you're doing stand-up because there's nobody else on stage with you, where you go like, "Oh, I guess you don't like drug jokes," or something like that. And she was like trying to be polite, and she looked at her friend right in the face and was like, "No, it's just not funny." But she didn't want me to hear it. But I heard it, and I had 2 minutes left, and I just fucking...
Yeah, you could hear everything in that place. There was 16 people in there.
I know. That was the worst feeling of my life, to have somebody that was not even trying for me to hear them. I don't think she was trying to hurt my feelings, but I could just, it was loud enough that it was like, fuck. That's the same place where I walked on stage. I walked on stage and grabbed the mic and it came unplugged, and then I plugged it in, put it back on the stand, and walked off the stage.
God. Yeah, I mean, it's torture. Why do we do this to ourselves? It's literally a fucking insane masochism thing. But yes, I miss performing live. Like, somehow I miss that. I miss that shit. Like,
I mean, my thing right now too is like, I would like to be able to travel so me and you and Brett and Drew could somehow meet somewhere or fly you and Drew to Columbus so we could all four do something where we're in the same room doing doing some sort of bit together, since it's just the four of us working on the show, you know, like it's that kind of stuff that's a real bummer that like travel has become such like, I don't want to do it, you know, and if I do, I want to do it in a car. And the last time I did it in a car, my car broke down. So I'm a little nervous about that. And Trump.
Well, I think I should drive out to Ohio sometime. I don't think Drew can, but I could get in a car and New York to Ohio is what, like 8 hours?
Yeah,
I could do that.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
I need a car. I don't have a car.
I can't imagine you. Why would you have a car in New York though? You don't need a car.
No, I don't. No, I did have a car that my grandma gave me, or rather, it was given to me when she died, and it was like a Toyota Camry or whatever, and it had like 15 miles on it, and she'd had it for like 20 fucking years, and I got maybe $3,000 in parking tickets on that fucking car, having it parked in Brooklyn, because there's alternate side parking and then the fire hydrants, and it was the worst like 2 years of my life, because I'd wake up on like a Tuesday or whatever and be like, oh my God, I'm parked on the Monday side of the street, and have to run and find my keys and find where I'd parked this fucking car. And like, then in the end, my sister totaled it, and like,
good riddance, bad rubbish.
Relieved to not have it was good to not have that fucking car anymore. It was honestly the worst. But if I were to get a car, maybe I would drive out there sometime. But no, it's really not like a time for travel, and I wish we could meet up.
Yeah, Drew has family in Ohio, so there is a chance.
Really?
Yeah, well, in like a really weird small town in between the big cities.
He doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to visit. Probably, but yeah, he has family in Ohio. He knows. He sends me articles from his small town. And there's a lot fucking going on in that town, which is true. Which is true of every town between the major cities in Ohio. There's just a lot going on out in that part of the state.
Ohio is such a exotic place to me. I've grown up in New York City and went to college in New York City and living now in New York City, like. You know, to me, it's such an enigma. I don't know. I can't wait to go.
I'm the same way about Florida. Because I don't live.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've only been to Florida twice, and we were just about to go down there on tour for the first time. And like, I was convinced. And Jake Flores was going to come with us. It was going to be me, Brett, and Jake driving all over Florida.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
The first time we went to Florida was just one show in Jacksonville with the Hellfire Boys, with the Trillbillies and the District Sentinel Sams.
Yeah.
And that was a crazy night. Like, it was a crazy time that we spent there. Like, it was a real whirlwind. Like, was it 36 hours, I think? Like, and I was like, it's going to be fucking crazy to be in Florida for a week, because like, I mean, like, so we got an Airbnb because there were so many of us that we had to, you know, stay in these huge houses. And it was on a river, like a bayou, and it had a canoe at it. And we had these,
oh my God,
we had these bottles of liquid acid that somebody gave us. Liquid mushrooms. Yes. That somebody gave us and on one of the previous tour dates, and everybody was fucking tripping. And the weirdest thing was that the guy showed up to clean up the Airbnb an hour early with a baby with just a diaper on, and like just.
Oh no!
Also, they left a live bird in there.
Oh yeah, there were live birds in the Airbnb. Just
very Florida. Wow.
And I was like, and Sam Sachs knew somebody there. And they brought their dad to the show, and they got their dad so fucking high that he couldn't fucking function. I think he fell down.
He fell over, yeah.
He fell over.
Splatted on the concrete.
Onto the concrete. And I was just like, Florida is paradise for guys like me, I think.
Yeah. That's where you're going to retire.
A bunch of dudes that are like way too tan and have blonde hair.
Yeah.
Like dyed blonde hair that the real color's gray, and they're driving a like one of those slingshots with like proud to be an American blaring out of it. And it never gets cold.
They have the Joe Biden way too white veneers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
I mean, all the guys
COVID is
all the guys there look like they have ponytail, look like they would have a ponytail if they could grow it out.
One of the biggest tragedies of coronavirus is that we can't all hang out and take drugs and like push old people over.
Yeah.
And, have a crazy night.
That guy smoked all the weed, so you know, that was his fault. Brett. People will never. I mean, you listen to the show. People who listen to the show know that Brett smokes a lot of weed. But I want to be clear that this is dabs. These are extracts. It's not even flowers. So when you hear that fucking lighter go up, he's doing a dab. So Brett and the Sams do more weed. And Terrence do more. Terrence didn't? No. Brett and the Sams do more weed than anybody I've never seen anything like it. Like, it's just, we did a lot of weed growing up. But the weed is like, you know how the anti-weed people will be like, the weed now is 17 times stronger.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Brett still smokes the same amount of weed I smoked when it was 17 times less strong.
I enjoy it. I'm a connoisseur.
Terrence, I actually got to meet him over the quarantine because
Really?
he came to one of my, but like not in person. Came to one of my Zoom communism reading groups on a Friday night randomly.
What a dork.
And it was so, and everyone was so
Both of you. What is wrong with you two?
That's cool.
yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
Cool.
He's a great
That's
guy.
the word for it.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
So you got to meet him?
We'll all get together someday.
Oh, okay, yeah. We were supposed to do a show in New York too.
We were gonna go nuts there. Nuts. Actually, we're only gonna be there for one day because it's too expensive.
When was
back in May?
Yeah, when was that supposed to be?
In May.
In May.
We were gonna do the Hellfire Congregation tour and come through New York with the Trillbillies and the Sams.
Let me say that here's the thing. Here's what I feel about it. Just because about this conversation. Is I do think it sucks right now, but we have been working a lot on other stuff and getting like other skills together. And I don't think that like everything that shuts down is permanently closed forever. And I think things will come back. I don't think we're going to get rid of like live performance, but this hiatus is hard to deal with for sure. But I mean, I like doing the online stuff more, you know, figuring out Zoom shit is interesting. And you know, it's a change of pace, but still, I mean, I did love.
For sure.
Like we would be gone for like 10 days a month. We would be on the road, and now I was like around my whole family all the time, which you know is not a problem. It's just an adjustment. You know, it's just not what I'm used to.
Significantly less cocaine.
Sure.
Yeah, that too.
I think. I think you forget that I live in a 1-bedroom, very small New York City apartment.
Sorry about that.
So I am. It's a little harder for me to feel like sane and connected to reality.
Yeah, I understand that.
But yes, I agree. No, it hasn't been like fucking torture being home. You know, when I have loved ones around me and I have a dog and a boyfriend that I live with, and it's. You know, and we've been able to strike up this working relationship, this artistic friendship relationship over Zoom, and we're gonna put out some great shit. And, you know, if it's not great, then we'll just be able to say, well, we did it over Zoom. So,
You know what, though? It is going to be... the stuff we have planned is very funny. You and Drew are great, and we love you both. And we're going to just have to... When shit happens, we're going to have to do a Street Fight TV tour and just take them with us and fucking do whatever that is together. Because, I mean, if people... Oh, sorry. If people could fucking hear the writers' meetings... that would be a podcast that people would enjoy a lot. And I like them because nobody can hear them.
Yeah. Brett's daughter comes in. He's like, hold on, I gotta mute. My dumb daughter's here.
Well, that happens on the regular show.
Yes.
She comes in for a snack every single show.
Every show. I'm vamping, which I'm bad at. Like, I'm not good at doing the whole, like, well, here's what happens. Like, they leave. Brett leaves, and I go like this. Well, I'm talking now, you know. Brett's not in here. Just me sitting. That's maybe a TV bit. We should just have like a 3 minutes of me saying, well.
Let's do it.
Simone, thank you for calling. Tell people where to find you, except for Street Fight. And again, we love you.
I love you guys. You can find me on Twitter, at Why Simone Y. That's WHY Simone WHY, and you can find me on Instagram at Local Honey, spelled HUNNY. And you can find me in my 1-bedroom apartment somewhere in New York City.
Lots of great doggies.
Losing my mind.
Lots of great doggies on that Instagram.
And with lots of good doggies on the Instagram.
Somebody that's pro dog is writing for the Street Fight.
It's hard to believe.
Television.
She snuck through the screening process.
We did not ask her if she was pro dog, but you know what? We need a pro dog person in the organization, so that works.
I'm happy to represent. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling,
Have a good
Simone.
one.
We
Peace.
love you. Oh, that's so
Bye, love
fun.
you.
That was so fun having her call in.
Yeah.
I don't think people know that her and Drew Spears are writing the show with us.
No, I didn't know. I'm excited.
Yeah, they're writing the show with us.
I feel good. I feel good about it. I like me and you. I feel like we have a strong connection and stuff. But I think that the extra two people gets things done better, you know, and is a way better. It just sharpens the sword even more, you know.
When they pitch stuff, I will be like, "Oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard," which is what me and Brett say to each other. I never thought there would be other people that would be able to understand Street Fight the way that me and Brett understand Street Fight. I actually can't figure out how they understand this show in the same way that me and you understand this show. You know what I mean?
It's not our thing, man. It belongs to the people, bro.
It does, though. Everything, I mean, anything like this does end up becoming a thing that belongs to the people who enjoy it. But like, it's odd that
podcasting.
It's odd that like they understand this show in a way that like they've never even pitched anything where we were like, that's, you know, that's not gonna work. Like pretty much a lot of the stuff they've pitched, we're like, yeah, that's fucking perfect. It's like they're writing for us.
I still haven't been embarrassed for them for something they've pitched.
More embarrassed for me. More embarrassed of me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to put my foot in my mouth, especially if it's not being recorded.
That's the thing. I'm going to tell y'all, you should get a TV show. If you're a podcaster out there, you should get a TV show. Because let me tell you, those writers' meetings, that's exactly what you think podcasting is until you start podcasting and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is not just free-flowing, throwing funny ideas at each other.
Yeah.
It's an actual thing, you know? Oh, I want to give an update real quick.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
I bought a model.
Oh.
It's from last week.
Nice fucking model.
Nice fuck Hong Kong.
I watched that last night.
Ugh, hate that movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. So, not a Beetlejuice, but...
You bought a Beetlejuice model?
No. I said not
sandworm
I was
kit.
critiquing Beetlejuice. And I said there's not enough Beetlejuice in Beetlejuice.
Can I say I always thought I only saw half of Beetlejuice, and I didn't realize that that's the end of the movie. Like I always thought that was like the beginning, like the establishment shit. Like there should have been a lot more after that, I think.
Yeah, I just don't think there's enough Beetlejuice. I want like Beetlejuice every 3 minutes.
Dude, he's so good in that.
I know.
It gets me going so much.
He's one of the best characters of all time.
It just still is like you just giggle when he starts fucking talking rowdy. yeah. And he's in the tux and shit.
I think we got a live one here. Like that.
I was addicted.
Thing, I love it.
That cartoon. I said to Charlotte, she's like, I don't want to watch Beetlejuice. I was like, you should look for Lydia Deetz. She'll be a style icon for you. And she was like, okay, I'll watch Beetlejuice then.
Yeah. Gwen loved it growing up. She's a real big fan. But anyway, so I bought a model.
Okay. Nice.
A 76 Nova.
Cool.
I bought a spray paint, a black spray paint.
Okay.
A paint kit.
Got it.
An X-Acto knife.
Okay.
Those are the things I bought.
How about your glues?
No glue.
Gotta get your glues.
What's a glue?
Like just model glue and
I'm gonna get on that right now.
Little adhesive strips and shit too.
Here's the thing that I'm bummed about. I just want you to know. They don't have a 1997 Pontiac Grand Am model.
What?
I know.
That's a classic car. It's 25 years old, right?
It's the classic car.
A GT, right?
Yeah. I wanted one. They don't have a Pontiac Sunfire.
What?
They don't have a 2015 Kia Soul.
See, this...
It's like, what is this hobby? You know what I mean? Like, I can't get all the shitty cars that I've ever owned because that's what I was going to... I was going to get a fucking Grand Am and paint it
Oh
teal,
my God.
so it would look like a fucking Grand Am.
I would love to have my 85 Nissan Stanza.
I
would love to have that on the mantle. And my daughter says, why do you have that? I was like, that's what I drove to work. When I told you I worked at the warehouse, I drove this car for 9 months and then it blew up on me in a snowstorm and I had to walk home for 2.5 hours.
I was going to buy this for the studio last night. There was a Grand Am poster.
Oh, that's a good idea. How much?
$2,000. Well, it was a card for $5.
Card?
Like a card, like a
baseball card,
trading card for a 2001 Pontiac Grand Am.
Okay, all the stats on the back.
Yes, there are. You can flip it over.
Shit.
But
go.
So I might be rethinking the model hobby. I'm gonna try.
Why? Because you can't.
I want to make crummy cars. I wanted to make crummy cars. Like I wanted to be like a guy that was like, hey, come over and look at my models. And somebody be like, Grand Ams are fucking shitty cars. And here's the thing about the Grand Am. It's a plastic fucking car. They should have models.
Yeah, that's already
Grand
made.
Am.
Just shrink down the equipment.
You could melt down the Grand Ams and just use... Oh, God.
That's Buckminster Fuller type thinking.
What I wouldn't do for a model of a Grand Am made out of a Grand Am. I would do anything for that.
I mean, I know it's hard. I know you want a hobby, but you don't want to monetize things, but that could be fucking huge.
I know it could be huge, but
you could recycle a car into models of the car and make a shitload of money, I bet.
Yeah, it's a hobby, dude.
I know, and everybody, it's like fucking music in the Beatles where it's like, are you going to get a Rolling Stones model or a Led Zeppelin model? It's all like, you know, fucking Dodge Chargers and Camaros and Mustangs and...
They got a $6 Grand Am sales brochure.
I want the poster. I want one that says like Hot Heat and it has like a Grand Prix on it or something with some...
We need a Grand Am.
Yeah.
We need Grand Am representation in the Street Fight studio.
You guys have the wood grain paneling, so you really need to like up the early 90s vibe in here by having some like Hot Lady calendar, like the Hot Lady Lamborghini calendar.
We can't do that. We're going to have dudes too.
Okay.
We have a fireman's calendar next to it.
Yes.
And then, yeah. But... I do want the car. We do need the car. Did you ever have a Grand Am?
I did not.
Okay.
What was your like first? Did you have a crummy car, like a piece of shit?
I was lucky. I got my dad's business card. He was a traveling salesman, so it was a '99 Honda Accord Special Edition with a V6 engine.
Yeah.
And so because it had such a powerful engine on it, I learned to drive like a maniac.
That's great.
So now I'm like an aggressive driver. All of my friends know that I'm a very great driver, and they're never terrified.
That's cool.
Katie
that's a good skill to have.
Katie asked me if I could paint rust on the 76 Nova, like her old car.
They make rust kits for sure. If is it plastic or is it a die-cast model?
This is going to be a plastic model.
Oh, really? For how much?
$30, $20.
Oh, gotcha.
$7.
I thought you were doing one of the die-cast, the metal ones.
What are those?
They're made of metal instead of plastic.
Okay, I'm going to Google that.
But those ones you can do metal work. You can definitely make it look like it's rusty.
Okay. Well, let's see if they make a die cast.
Well, I'll buy a model. I'm going to do a Gundam. Maybe I'll do an Ava. I'll probably do an Ava unit, to be honest. Will be what I want to do.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to...
Maybe an 18-inch Trigun statue.
If they don't do the cars, if they don't do funny cars, then I am going to move on to doing other models, I think.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like... It's
soldier models?
Not soldiers. I hate soldiers.
What about model trains?
Okay, that I've heard is super expensive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And the models...
But you can spend the rest of your life doing it. It doesn't end after you get the cars you want. You're literally never done and you're obsessed for the next flocked tree that you can put next to the old graveyard or whatever the fuck.
There's two problems with model trains, Brett.
Okay.
This is an ABCD show. Me and Brett are talking
Sorry.
about model trains.
This is
There's two problems.
the most astute thing ever.
The problem with model trains, there's two problems with model trains, okay? One, a lot of space. Way too much space.
It's tight.
I live in apartments.
Oh, yep.
I'm actually planning to downsize when I move. And the other thing is, when we do get back to touring,
you're done.
Like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
You're gonna smash all the models.
No, I'll keep the models.
Okay.
You know, I gotta get glue now.
See, what you have to get into is whittling.
We have a...
Because then you can whittle whatever you want.
I don't... Yeah.
You want your Trans Am, you whittle it.
I agree. You need to find...
You're on the road, you're whittling.
You need something with a longer lifeline that you can just do forever now.
The apocalypse comes, doesn't matter. You're still whittling.
We got a billion calls. So
all right, let's get the calls. Let's get these calls. You know,
too excited. Brian's hobbies.
People love when I get a hobby.
I want to paint stuff. I like painting board game stuff.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, y'all. How you doing? It's Emma. What's up?
What's up, Emma? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Finally decided to say hi to you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I just thought I'd tap my job a little bit because I'm sure y'all know I work at the zoo and we're open during a pandemic, so fun times.
Hell yeah,
How's that going?
Yeah. You were giving me some information actually yesterday on you were telling me that if I become a lizard guy, my wife won't leave me, which
she will not.
That's a bold statement. I think all lizard guys' wives leave them.
No, I say this. One of my previous jobs, I worked for basically a small business tyrant who had a bazillion lizards, and he still had his wife, and he was a goddamn lunatic. Like, I know he cheated on her multiple times, and she had not left him, like, at least by the time I left that job. I left that job before she did.
Yeah.
Him.
All right.
So what's it like at the zoo during the pandemic? Because it's outdoors. It feels like if it's outdoors, people are going to be a lot less careful, I think.
It is honestly a mix. I'd say, like, obviously you hear, like, the horror stories, you know, like, like all the videos, people going viral, taking off their masks, screaming at people, punching people and stuff. For the most part, it's honestly all right. I think people are just happy to get out of the house with their kids for a little bit. It's outside, so objectively, if you're outside and you have a mask on, your risk is lower. People, for the most part, are happy to be at the zoo. They're happy to get out. They have their kids. They're respectful. You know, they keep their masks on. They have a good time. Then there's just, like, amount of people who just fucking roll up. They have their masks on, either, like, just showing off their nose. I see people just kind of jamming them in their mouths like a weird ball gag or something. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, it's been, like, 7 months. You should know how to wear a mask correctly.
I one
yeah,
time, I one time saw a kid at the zoo, like a huge kid wearing no pants, just running around in a diaper, and his parents were saying, "Jeremy, where'd your pants go? Jeremy, where'd your pants go?" And they were just gone.
Kids are the best. They're number one.
He had
No,
thrown
man,
that in the
like,
tiger enclosure for
they're
sure.
like kids, and it's like a zoo. They like roll up, like they're like in diapers or like in a Spider-Man costume. It's not Halloween. This one just like Spider-Man that day, you know. Like, God, I'm trying to think of anyone that does anything really ridiculous. Nothing crazy. Sometimes people roll up clearly like into the pup play scene or the furry scene, but in my opinion, that's kind of on me. Like, I know what this is.
You're
like,
clocking them,
I'm
yeah.
just like, you know, I'm too deep into the internet world. You know what I mean?
I
But they're all having a good time and everyone's
So
cool.
is it?
I heard, actually, somebody told me a story in the past 2 days, and it might have been you even, Brett, that or it was Katie that saw some people that were wearing headbands in the store. Oh, it was at Michael's. Katie and Gwen went to Michael's, the craft store, and these people didn't bring masks, but they had headbands on, so they just pulled them down and put them around their mouth. And that was their mask.
Like a skinny ass basketball headband?
Yeah, like they were wearing. Like,
like a hair thing. Yeah,
like a hair thing, and they put the fucking thing on like a. People are just losing it.
How is attendance though? Is it up?
Oh God, it's a mix. So like, I mean, I guess I can't like officially say numbers because I work for the place. I don't know.
Sure.
The world of the zoo is the most apolitical place ever. I cannot imagine anyone's going to be like, Emma, were you on Street Fight last night?
Sure.
Just for sake, we have lost a lot of money. We closed down right before spring break, which is where the majority of zoos make a huge amount of their money.
Sure.
So we were definitely hurting. We had to reopen. We had to limit our capacity just for social distancing. So we tend to get sold out, but we're not at the capacity we used to be like last year because you can't like have the whole zoo open. It's a mix. Like bougie people love to join to the zoo. We had a virtual fundraiser last week and we raised like a ridiculous amount of money. So I mean, knock on wood, who knows what's going to happen. I think like the zoo's going to be overall like okay. I can't speak for like, you know, the kind of the little people in the world of the zoo, if that makes sense. But I feel like most kind of big zoos, city, you know, park run, like kind of like the good zoos, not the Tiger King zoos. I think they will survive this. I can't see any of them really being in danger of closing down the long run, even if, you know, it leads to say like layoffs and stuff that impacts kind of, you know, not like, you know, not the people, not the boards or the curators. It's always going to be, you know, like the dude who gives you the hot dogs and your little pantsless kid, the little, you know, like souvenir toys and stuff.
Yeah. So
so it could be worse.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm really interested that you said this, but bougie people love the zoo. Does that mean attending the zoo or raising money for the zoo?
Raising money for the zoo because it seems like so nice. It's like, oh, we care about the elephants.
Conservation and all that.
You know, they'll go to conservation and stuff. I mean, they probably all like vote Biden down the line immediately. You know what I mean? But yeah, like people love to give a ridiculous amount of money to the zoo because it's like animals, and objectively, who doesn't love animals? And then you get a very nice tax write-off because, you know, you gave like, you know, a couple grand to a nonprofit. Little fun fact, if you give the zoo enough money, they will let you name an animal. Just a heads
How much
up.
that run?
Okay.
Can we name an animal Lonnie?
Yeah,
where we won't get anything out of it at all, but it'll be named Lonnie?
Like a gecko or something?
Yeah.
Iguana?
This is all, to be fair, like disclaimer, this is hearsay. So I heard it from someone who heard it from someone. This is not official. And I don't speak for all zoos. But I've been told allegedly, 10 grand, and you can name the gecko Alon.
Cool.
Sloth.
Yeah, sloth would be a good one too. Could we name it Lonald?
Sloth, definitely.
I would like to name it Lonald because I decided that the long form of Lonnie is Lonald.
Makes sense.
Hi, I'm Lonald.
What do you do at the zoo?
Gotten wise to like the naming thing, honestly. Like, I think it was actually y'all zoo. Columbus had a baby rhino a couple months ago, and they were like, hey, if you give us not a lot of money, it was like $10 and you can suggest a name for the rhino. And then they pull on they say, please do not suggest Rhino McRhino Face. We will not name the rhino McRhino Face. So
I wouldn't either, though. I wouldn't either. I hate that. But I mean, I get like people now are like, oh, when you name something, you call it something McSomething's face. And it's like, I guess not everybody's a comedian.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, like, it's very, like, juvenile humor, like the Fortnite levels, I'd say. But, my attitude is this, though, which is if it gets people excited about conservation, if you show up at the zoo to see a gorilla named Gorilla McGorilla Face, and then you're like, oh, wow, I love gorillas. What can I do in my day-to-day life to save them? You know?
Yep. Makes sense.
My work here's done.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I'm being a bummer, really, because I'm complaining about it, you know? But I do think, like, people that are like, if they're trying to do conservation and they can't get money for it, and people will just throw a shit ton of money at one giraffe at a zoo, then hey, it's like, we got giraffes.
I paid to feed them.
You paid to feed the giraffes?
Yeah, it was the shit.
That's a fucking move.
It was the coolest thing ever. They were like right there. You could put it in a headlock.
Yeah.
That's I'm doing that tomorrow, actually, before I go to bed. Yeah, I'm doing giraffe feeding tomorrow, so we've been trying to get that off the ground again during a pandemic, which is exciting, to say the least.
You let people feed them there, too?
Yeah. You know, it's a pretty common thing, I think, at a lot of zoos. It's, like, pretty cheap. It's, like, $3. You can't touch ours. They'll, like, freak out and run away, and we'll yell at you. But it's, like, it's, like, $3, and you can give them some lettuce. And if they choose to show, which they have not been this week, and it's, like, 16-foot tall animal, you can't make it do anything. Yeah, you can come and feed it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we were zoo members for the last 2 years. So, because we have a water park connected to our zoo, which is, like, the best way to get people into the fucking zoo. It's like all one big entertainment thing. So I do love that, but I'm definitely not going this year.
Yeah, it is a mix. It's one of those things. Our VP of, like, guest services is, like, I don't know, he, like, grew up in kind of like the Disney cult world, you know what I mean? So everything he says is about, like, how to appeal to customer magic. And he's like, if you see a member, say thank you, you know? So I instinctively want to be like, thank you. Nah, I mean, we've honestly had some people renew their memberships. I do think to an extent it is a little bit out of pity. If you have kids, though, like, the membership's such a good deal. I think most zoos are only, like, around, like, 100, maybe a little bit more. And so if you have, like, a family and you go to the zoo, like, 4 times, you've basically gotten your money's worth, you know?
Yeah, and they go nuts for it.
And they go nuts for it.
I go nuts for it.
It's just such a good way to get out of the house. Like, I see people all the time, and they come in, like, once a week, you know? Like, I'm like, oh, I know these people now because they come in so frequently. And I don't know, like, I feel like a lot of us, especially I think, like, our generation older, have these very, like, negative memories of zoos and just, like, like a lion. He's, like, in lion jail, you know?
Yeah.
Zoos have definitely, like, come a long way, and it's kind of cool to, like, kind of talk about that to grown-ups, because I think they all assume, like, you, like, me personally, I'm, like, rolling up, you know, it'll, like, you know, somewhere in Kenya with, like a butterfly net and, like, stealing baby tigers, you know, and putting them in cages. And obviously now zoos have kind of changed, and not to say, like, they aren't driven by some level of capitalism. I think everything is nowadays, but I do think there's a really high emphasis on what we would say is conservation education that you wouldn't have seen, like, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great. Well, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Hit me up if you got any other questions about your lizard needs and lizard wants, all right?
Yeah, okay, I will. But again, I'm very scared to get a lizard.
Hyenas and Gin on Twitter and Instagram?
Yes, actually, yes. And then also I'm the official anime correspondent for a Struggle Session as well. So you can find me on there too.
Yeah, I'll hit you up for some Gunpla advice in the DMs.
Gundam?
Sweet.
Yeah. Gun plug.
Gundam, yeah, the gun,
So,
the gun ham
You told
advice.
you told me I needed the glue, so I got the glue, and then also happened to run into the Smokey and the Bandit car model kit.
Okay,
which is,
now we're back in.
you know, a top
Now we're
favorite
back
movie of
in.
mine, and it was only $15, so I bought that too.
Get the first one done.
I got 2 of them now. I'll have 2.
You got to get one done.
I know. I'm not gonna get any more, but
Okay.
the Smokey and the Bandit car is another one that's very important to me.
Okay.
I have a Diablo. Never mind. I'm not gonna quote Smokey and the Bandit.
No,
I've
it's
seen
cool.
it 7,000 times.
No, it's cool. It's really cool.
Fuck you. I have never I don't quote movies on this show, and then for some reason I felt the need to quote Smokey and the Bandit.
Just guying off.
Just really guying off in the room. I also got some snips and a little,
Snips.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh.
a model kit needs snips.
Oh, little tin
little
snips.
Snippy boys.
Sure.
I'm gonna be a model guy now. I just know it.
Oh, for clipping off the stuff off the tree, getting a clean edge.
Yeah,
got it.
I'm gonna be a model guy. You know, somebody's gonna find me this Pontiac Grand Am.
Oh, for sure.
1997
The
Grand Am
dealerships
model.
had to make it something.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to make every car, didn't they?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, they should have.
There was no contract to make every car.
Yeah.
I think they did it to make money. The most popular cars.
They made them for Chilton. They made Chiltons for every
I want to
car.
like the Astro van. I want the old like wood panel Astro van.
Oh, do they do
that's a
van
good
mo-
memory.
I'm not gonna buy
I went
any
to
more
so many
models.
skating parties, so many pools. I would love to paint that thing and put it on the mantle above the fireplace.
Yeah.
Chevy Astro van, whatever it was.
Let's get another call in.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Not a lot. Who's this?
This is Dana from Northeast Ohio,
How's
and
it-
I go by they them pronouns.
How's it going, Dana?
It's going all right. I'm just kind of relaxing. This is the first time I've actually been able to call in. A buddy of mine told me that you guys were doing that ABCD show, so I knew I had to get on that.
Hell yeah, yeah, it's good. I love doing these shows. So what's going on tonight?
So I got a couple, well, basically just one small business tyrant story for y'all.
Okay.
And as an aside, I know you guys were talking about the emergency shit in the beginning and how it might be a hoax, it might not.
I'm in trouble.
I've heard kratom actually is an immunostimulant, and I don't know if that's true or not. But since I've been taking kratom like this past year, I haven't gotten sick at all.
Perfect.
But I don't get sick because I'm, like I said, it is very strong. You might just be super strong, Dana. That's the thing. Some of us are very
Honestly,
powerful
probably.
people. Yeah. Some of us are just powerful. You know, you punch the sick away, you know?
Sure.
Right.
So you said you have a small business tyrant story?
Right. So there's this local pizzeria I used to work for, and there's a guy that ran it. I'm just going to call him C for brevity.
Okay.
He ended up selling it within 24 hours, like without notifying anybody.
Wow.
So like these new franchise owners. So it used to be a pretty chill job and it was fine, but the new franchise owners, I mean, they were just the epitome of small business tyrant. And what first tipped me off is I would always clock out, like, I would write down that I clocked out 10 minutes later. And I would also take, like, 2 smoke breaks per shift.
Sure,
And
that's
it
one
really started.
does. Yeah.
They really started getting on to me about that. But what really broke it for me was at the end of one night, there's like a $3 delivery fee, right? And I was a delivery driver. And so no matter what, you get the fee and then you get the tip on top of that, obviously.
Uh-huh.
So it was at the end of the night and I was cashing out and I was getting ready to go home. And they told me that I owed them $2. And I said, there's no fucking way I owe you guys $2, you know? Like,
$2?
If you look at the tickets, right? If you look at the tickets, like, I got all the shit straight. And even just the delivery fee would make it so I didn't owe you guys any money. And I ended up fighting with him for like 45 minutes and this and that. And eventually, basically, they just told me to go fuck myself. And so I quit. But the next day, my buddy that would work there, his name was Rye. He was already planning on getting fired. He was planning on getting out of there as quick as possible because things were just going so downhill. And there wasn't any work to do. And so he was just kind of on his phone for like 5 minutes, you know, and the new franchise owner came up and he told him that if he doesn't get off his phone, he really doesn't think that he's worth being paid $8 an hour.
Oh God!
Everybody's worth
$8
$8
I mean,
an hour.
I would say.
Yeah. I mean, if here's the thing.
That's why they call it the man of moments. It's really not.
Here's the thing about
you shouldn't get anything. That should be to get them to show up.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
If you walked into the fucking kitchen or whatever the job is and laid down on the floor on your back like a snow angel, completely spread out, that's worth $8 an hour.
Yeah.
And you just laid there and you told somebody, I really wish I could stand up so that I could stir this, you know?
Yeah, $8 is what you pay to fill the position. To get someone to put on a uniform and stand there in front of the job. That's not what you pay to get the job done.
Yeah, or get it done well. I think that like even $15 an hour isn't enough to get the job done well. $25 an hour is an amount of money for somebody to go to McDonald's and get the job done right. You know, you want to get this job done right. You want all the orders that come out of this drive-through window to be right. $25 an hour. And I can fucking guarantee you everything that comes out of there is right. Because people are just like, I even knew it when I started out at the cable company at $9.50 and like once I got up to $16.80 an hour, which was my final pay, 7 years, I don't know, somebody work it out if I got ripped off or whatever. But once I got to that almost $17 an hour, I was like desperately clinging to that job because I said nobody's going to pay me.
The incentive is there now.
Yeah, nobody's going to pay me shit. Like in the early parts, I was like, I don't care, you know, but that $8 an hour. So what did he do after that?
That was basically the crux of the whole thing. But he told him that, oh, you know, whenever I got the franchise, I was going to take all you drivers down to $7.25, if not full tipped wage, which would have been $4.50. And yeah, my friend Rye, I had already gotten out of there, so he basically just told him to go fuck himself, and he stormed out at that point. We never looked back.
Yeah, and that's what they do is they just come in, they say this is what we want, get you to leave, and then they hire somebody at that shitty of a fucking deal.
Exactly.
And because nobody remembers when they used to get fucking $8 an hour for it.
True. Yeah, they were pushing y'all out. That sucks. God, I hate small business tyrants.
But,
they're the worst.
That was pretty much all I had to say. I know you guys got a lot of calls, so I get out of your hair. But
thanks for calling.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I hope you guys have a good night.
You too. You too. Thanks.
Peace.
Let's roll the next call. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, that is a very, very predictable scenario. It's like, hey, we're the new people in town. We expect you to take less. And you're like, I don't want to take less. I'm standing up. And they're like, you're hitting the door.
I mean, if you're like, you know, they always say in radio, I'm like in big radio mind right now because that's what I'm doing, you know? And they always say when a new general manager came through the station, they got their people in there. They fired people and that's like a real thing though. That's like a person's artistic vision and all this stuff. If it's like a fast food or fast casual restaurant, you don't need to remake the fucking place in your image.
Sure.
You know, it's keep the people that are working there aren't, you know, they're not making enough to live.
Right.
So don't knock them the fuck down, you know?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Good. How about yourself?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, this is Sarah. I'm calling from Kansas, and I am calling for some good vibes because I'm about to take the bar exam tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. Lucky you.
Is it how long have you been prepping? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm throwing good vibes right at the camera right now. Even if you're not seeing it, this is how I throw good vibes. It's like a fastball of good vibes.
Much appreciated. Yeah, I just saw it. I'm on a little bit of a lag, but I appreciate it. I catched it, so thank you. But yeah, now that I have this platform, I want to express what is total bullshit about the bar exam, which is that basically everything on it, you can just Google and know it. So like, how does it prove that you're a good lawyer? If you have Google, you're pretty much as good as a lawyer that has passed the bar exam, except you're not, because they make all of the legal decisions behind paywalls and like restrict the access to only elite institutions and law schools. So it's just like this bullshit gatekeeping that has like no practical, reason for it.
Yeah, I saw a friend of mine go through it, and it was like so chaotic for his life to go through law school. But it really comes down to like this Illuminati ceremony of being in the club is all it is like you're willing to put yourself through hell to do it and play by their rules and do all these pointless tasks.
Yep.
That's right.
It's supposed to be that you
look at
like,
organizations.
think like a lawyer.
I don't know. I guess expose you to all the myriad of ways you can think. I don't know. What can happen?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that can happen in law schools, and I've seen like the variety of it from people that are just sort of neoliberals to actual literal Nazis. Like I went to a highly esteemed law school, and someone got kicked out my first year for posting anti-Semitic propaganda around the law school, and he was literally just caught for it. But a bunch of people had reported him for saying a bunch of really fucked up racist and anti-Semitic and sexist shit in class, or just like openly to people chatting about the race war, and nobody did anything until like donors of the university got involved. So and now that motherfucker just like went to another like good law school. So there's predators out there, and if there's anyone listening to this that feels like they could be a lawyer, you should try to be a lawyer. We need people that are progressive and want to like fight the good fight against the lizards, because there are so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, it radicalizes people for sure. We have so many lawyers that listen to the show, and everybody when they're done is just like, well, I learned the entirety of the law. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. Sarah, do you have a National Lawyers Guild at your law school?
Hell yeah. That's where I found all of my best friends in law school. The NLG is legit, and they do like legal observer training, so they go out to protest and basically watch for people's constitutional rights being infringed upon, and that helps if you're in like an appeal of your conviction or your arrest or something like that. So that's been a really great opportunity for me. But contrast that to the Federalist Society, which is the group that has all of the power in law schools. And this is where like Amy Coney Barrett and all of the hacks who like Trump may or may not appoint, that's how they've come up in the law school system, is through the Federalist Society. And they prime these like really fascist people to take power and get them like clerkships and stuff like that. So that's like a really blatant way that law schools are being like feeders into this system, is through the Federalist Society that literally had a 30-year plan to take over the courts that fucking worked.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a paralegal. I've worked with lawyers my whole career, and
So we're
there's
saying
a lot of that.
She's so good. She's not a lawyer. She's a pair of legals.
Oh,
2 people.
Wow.
She's two lawyers.
No, I'm like it's like paranormal, paralegal. I'm like a spooky lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay. I thought you were two
I'm
lawyers.
like the ghost of a lawyer.
The strength of two lawyers in one pair of legal.
Yeah, I thought you would look into like when money just disappears or something. They're like
Yep.
Paralegal.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost money.
Ghost money, yes. Ghost money. We are the worst two people in the world.
Who cares?
When it comes to law stuff.
Yeah.
Well, good vibes. Good luck with the good luck
Yeah,
with the
we need-
bar. Pass the bar and then I don't
Use
know.
your skills against bad people.
Defend the
Thank you.
defenseless. Is that a thing?
Yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to ask you guys about, which
Okay.
is so the remote bar exam has sort of put different strains on different people. So obviously it's disadvantaged people that are already at a disadvantage, like people without good internet connection or like single parents or whatever. But I have a really stupid reason I'm annoyed with it that I think street fighters would appreciate, which is that I don't know if I can vape during the bar tomorrow. Can I vape during the bar exam? What do you think?
I don't
Will
want
my
to get
score
you
canceled.
I don't want to tell you to do it, but like do you mean Juul?
Yeah, like a Juul. Like
Oh.
they have people monitoring your eyes and making sure you're not looking at things you're not supposed to look at.
That's
But
weird.
yeah, I don't think I can vape. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
a real frustration that I have.
Would you be able to do it in the real one?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't think so.
They wouldn't let
I
you
kind
bring
of
that
vape
in.
with abandon sometimes.
Yeah, I think here's Murder Brian says you should vape your head off. But Brian Quinby says I would play it safe and not do it.
I do have one anecdote I can think of. This Lil Wayne got out of this. He was one of the celebrity people in the audience on video, and what he did is he ducked down to the side, and then when he came back up, he was breathing out smoke. But your eyes would go off the screen.
Well, all right.
Your eyes would go off the camera, so that might not work. I would say in times like this, you're gonna have to go high school, slide it on the inside of a long sleeve shirt, and just lean on your hand type thing. You know, and cover it up like one of those. That's what I would get. That's what I would do.
All right, that's great advice. Thank you so much. I'm feeling the vibes. I got what I called for, so thank you very much. I hope you boys have a great night, and thank you too.
Good luck.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Have a good one.
Good luck.
She's gonna do fine.
Yeah.
As long as she's vaped up, she's gonna be having good vibes and just pass that thing immediately.
I am sickened to death because I've slowly been seeing what they did on SNL last night.
Yes, it's like someone throwing salt in a wound. It just stings.
Is the worst feeling in the world to be like, I'm definitely funnier than this. Like I'm 100 million times funnier than this show. I don't ever say I'm funny, but I'm better than that show.
Right.
I've got to
Forever.
admit something really embarrassing. This is probably the most embarrassing thing.
Oh, thanks for sharing.
Street Fight exclusive. Up until last year, probably for the past 15 years, I had watched every single episode of Saturday Night Live.
I mean,
That's fine.
There are
It's
good
not.
ones.
It is.
There were good ones. And plus, it's not embarrassing to admit. I mean, I've watched some fucking horrible stuff. But, like, I've probably seen 90% of the diners, drive-ins, and dives.
That's great.
Yeah.
Unambiguously great, but
I also had a 15-year run with Saturday Night Live from probably 95 to 2010. But what I would say is that it is extremely informative because there are so many people that watch it and that like it is something that has a touchstone. If you work in an office, then on Monday you can say something about that to certain people and know they're going to get a giggle out of it.
But like I used to think it was funny, but now like it's so nefarious because they like I think they played a part in like making George W. Bush like a cute character.
They did the same
Like-
thing with Trump and like that's a weird thing about Parks and Rec to me is that I find it very hard to watch that fucking show because they had Newt Gingrich on it, you know?
Yeah.
Let's take that next call.
One more and then we're
one more, then break.
Then break. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
Oh, this is Hannah from Columbus. How's it going?
What's up,
Hey,
Hannah?
how's it
How are
going?
you?
Oh, pretty good. We
Columbus,
just got done putting
Hannah.
up some Halloween decorations, and we're just chilling on the porch.
What kind of decorations you put up?
Well, we created some spider webs using some yarn samples.
Fun.
That's
Smart
great.
move.
You know, I have a neighbor that made a. I got to take a picture of it. It is an actual scary thing.
Okay.
It's like a 9 or 10 foot clown ghost monster, like zombie. He's like creeping up on, and as it walks out, it's their only decoration. And then their dingus neighbor went and got one of those stupid inflatables of a cute Frankenstein, and I was like, you can't. You're next. Here's the thing: you share a townhome with the people next to you. Yes,
you gotta get on the same page.
I know it wasn't a lot. Like, they haven't done a lot, but what they did is a lot. You know,
They set the mood.
It's a cool sculpture, basically, and I love it. I think it's neat. I walk by it every day. But then I hate inflate. You know how I feel about inflatables. I know Brett is an inflatables guy. I can't stand them. But also, I sat at Brett's house on Friday night while they cut out a bunch of bats and stuff. So the inflatables aren't going to be the only thing you have. I don't like people that just do inflatables. That is not enough for the B-man.
Okay.
You know?
What's your pride and joy of decoration? What's your best one?
Well, if I'm completely honest, we also added a sign in our front window that says "Fuck Trump."
Okay.
That's scary, though, for some people, depending on where you live.
Yeah, that scares Proud Boys. That scares racists.
Katie went to her sister's house yesterday, and she's like, they pulled up, and her sister had 3 Trump signs in her yard. It was like every corner of the front, so that no matter where you're coming from, you're going to see that she likes Trump. She's on the Trump train. So, don't you wish the world wasn't so shitty that, like, your Halloween decoration could be a Trump sign and just be like, ooh, it's spooky. What if this guy was president? You know what I mean?
No, that's a good point, because, like, what is scary now? I mean, like, it used to be like ghosts or something, but honestly, I would prefer ghosts at this point.
Yeah, and you know, I hate
I'll
ghosts.
take a ghost.
Yeah, I hate ghosts with all my heart. I hate their guts. I think they're pointless assholes that don't do anything. Like, just not smart at all.
13 Ghosts. You got to watch 13 Ghosts.
I'm not gonna watch it because what are they smarting up the ghosts?
Powerful ghosts.
Okay. You know what I don't like about
you
ghosts?
Could be a ghost. It could a ghost future for you, I think.
You know what I hate about ghosts? Can I explain what I hate about ghosts? And this is why me and Brett are going to go ghost hunting this month. We're not going to let this fall by the wayside this year. We are going to ghost hunt this month. And what annoys me about them is you read the lore of the ghosts, right? And they're like, this ghost used to run the lock. The canals, the locks in the canal, and he fell into the canal, and the lock pulverized his body and killed him. And now he stands on the lock and he does his job all night. And that's what he does. And it's like, you can fucking walk through walls, you can fly, you can do all kinds of things, but you're just like, I'm just gonna work. I'm just gonna go ooh and make noises. It's like, what a dumb.
Can you imagine, like,
maybe that's
you just
hell.
have your labor exploited even after you're dead?
I know.
It's hell. That's called hell.
I know.
That's because you rejected the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, no, hell is not being a ghost, dude. Ghosts are angels.
No.
No, I
Ghosts
think
aren't
so. I
angels.
think they're angels. I think
Ghosts
they're...
are here on earth. Angels are on the clouds. Ghosts are here on earth.
No, angels can come down.
Sure.
Been reading the Bible.
They can interact, but ghosts are here. Ghosts are bound to the earth. Ghosts are suckers that got stuck here that like didn't get to ascend to heaven.
How did? Okay. Wow. Maybe we'll explore this later through the month.
I feel like maybe the ghost should be on our side then, because I feel like we're all stuck here.
That was one of the nice things about Beetlejuice is that you do start to understand the ghost point of view, where they also have an idea of, what they want their existence to be, and we don't take that into account. There's lots of haunted places that like people tell us to get away from it, and then we send folks in to exterminate it instead of understand it. So
that's what I think, though. I want to just go. If I saw a ghost working like that, I would just be cracking on them like crazy. Just be like, "What are you doing? You don't got to do this anymore. Nobody even uses the canal."
You can free ghosts. Then that's what you can do. You can set them free
by cracking on them.
Yes.
You gotta go radicalize the ghosts, Brian.
No, I want to.
Yeah,
you gotta
organize
the ghost union.
No, I want to make them feel bad. I want to make the ghosts feel like things I can be mean to and not feel guilty about.
They're moaning already. They're moaning.
Ooh, I know.
Pain.
It's ridiculous.
Their bones all hurt.
Oh,
they're clacking. It's just
we're gonna find a ghost.
There's no tendon. It's just bone rubbing on bone. So painful.
So, are you a Halloween
Honestly, the more
person?
You describe the ghost, it just sounds like this is like normal everyday people.
Yeah, that's all they are.
Complaints, no one listens. We have to work hard. Our bones hurt. Like we're all just ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way.
Oh, what if we
temporarily exist?
What if we are just? I just ate 2 weed gummies, and now I'm like, what if we are just ghosts, dude? What if everybody's a ghost, man?
We are. I mean, I think technically.
Yeah.
We only exist in the stories that people tell about us.
Are you a big Halloween person, Hannah?
Not really. I like some aspects of it. I don't like the, like you were describing, like the inflatables and like the commercialized stuff of it. I like traditional Halloween stuff. I like bats and pumpkins and spiders and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I'm goth in that way too, especially this year where I've been listening to Typo Negative all the time. I think I'm gonna really try to enjoy Halloween this year.
I have a skull collection, okay? I have a skull collection. I'm into creepy, but Aldi has inflatables for $9.99 sometimes, so it's
I understand.
Like,
hey,
hard
dude.
to
Brett
resist.
has a great spooky ghost inflatable. It's very
Yeah,
festive.
I also have a very low budget 80s style. It's a mask with just like black plastic fabric over it. It just hangs up there.
I'm gonna buy you some. Next year. Not this year because there's not enough time for it. Brett is a horror movie fanatic, and I'm gonna buy you something.
Let me tell you, November 1st is the only time to buy Halloween decorations. My wife is like, we gotta go buy them this weekend. And I'm like, we will never ever buy them because they will be 70% off guaranteed. And it's great when you wait for an entire year and you go pull out the tub and you're like, oh shit, I forgot we bought that. I have a black flocked skull that I forgot about. Shit looks just like two-dimensional.
I'm buying you a special effects thing. I'm gonna go heavy and get you like a real like Jason's head or something like that. I'm gonna do that next year for you.
I'm trying to ease Charlotte into it yet. Still,
you can't watch Jason with Charlotte. She's too young.
I don't know. She hasn't been shook yet.
Jason will shake her.
I feel like I was 7 when I first.
I think I
watched
did
that,
too. I think I was about that age as well.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
I was. I would have had to have been 5 or 6 when I saw Nightmare on Elm Street the first time. Maybe I was 7. I just realized I'm not going to tell this story now. I'll probably tell it during the break actually.
Okay.
Well, Hannah, is there anything else that you had? Did we cut you off?
Well, if you'll permit me, I also do embroidery.
Ooh.
And I will be at Land Grant on Sunday, October 11th, selling embroidery.
Ooh.
Okay.
What kind of things do you embroider?
All kinds of stuff, actually. I make things called scrapimals, which are sheep embroidery, but I use the scraps that are left over from other embroidery to make this like weird woolly sheep texture. They're super cool.
Okay.
And then also I mix in there some sort of subversive like lefty embroidery.
What is it?
The rich and that kind of stuff.
Is it like an outdoor market thing?
Yeah, they at Land Grant. It sounds like they're having just one vendor a day, like from Thursday through Sunday, just outside of the brewery. In Columbus.
Oh, that's great. I'll try to make it over there.
I'll put it on my calendar. Say it, land grant October 11th, you said? I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
What times?
Yeah, I call myself Wild Ohio Embroidery.
Wild Ohio.
It's not a very good name, but that's what I've got, so I'm sticking with it.
Hey, you know what? We're wild. We're from Ohio. It sounds like a perfect match.
Oh, this haunted Ohio
Should be
list
pretty
is
fun.
the worst.
Yeah.
Are you there all day?
We'll be there from 3 p.m. until 8 p.m.
3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Can do.
What day of the week is this?
Sunday.
October 11th,
Sunday.
next Sunday.
October 11th. And actually, all the proceeds are going to go to the National Bail Fund.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, that's great. This is all good news.
Oh, I love this. I love the circular artwork here one. The monster hoop. That would look really cool on a wall. All right, I love this stuff. Perfect.
Oh, shit, are you looking at my...
Yeah, I just checked it out. Cool. 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. on October 11th. We'll stop by.
All right. Well, thanks for calling
It won't
in,
be
Hannah.
anything Halloween related, but it'll be pretty cool.
Hey, it's okay. We don't,
Well, just have like a spooky joke ready or something, maybe.
Yeah. Just spook Brett out a little bit.
I'll dress up like a ghost or something, yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. That was wonderful because Columbus Caller, this week for music, we're going to play a Columbus band, one that I love. They're a good follow on Instagram, and they make a lot of wonderful, interesting music. And I have not seen them live, even though I want to desperately. I definitely am regretting not doing that now that we live in this COVID environment. But this is Dana, and you can find them at danabandohio.bandcamp.com. This is their new album, Glowing Auras and Black Money. We are Street Fight Radio. We'll see you in like 10 minutes. Peace. Oh my gosh. Guys, restroom. Excuse me.
Well, all of a sudden I went, I could see the column of light, and inside that the two of them were. But I was up and out of the chair, those stairs to do in their time, not like they can stretch out to go in the front. That's how they take out things like it's a cool something weird. They run your watch. They want too young to do that. They would do that's what they want. Because they have to through their feedback and the same as they want to start their legs to experiment. You see what they want is to mother hybrids. The hybrids are now here, definitely. America's one of the most evil countries there is, and they think themselves so godly, you're so godly. You're not. We heard when Donald Trump takes over, the aliens are going to come. Those things that are happening. They're going to deforest huge swathes of land, all for the sake of business people, They've all said, yeah, we want this world, we want this, we want that. And they will kill the world to get it. And I think something has to cut it and say, no, no more.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Street Fight Radio. It's the call-in show. That band you just heard was Dana. They're from Columbus, Ohio, one of the greats here in local music. You can find them at danabandohio.bandcamp.com. We are doing the call-in show tonight. It's the ABCD call-in show. Anyone but cis dudes. So if you're on the call-in queue right now, jump the fuck out or we'll flush you down the toilet. We also have in the studio today guest Kristen, the number one member of DSA Columbus.
And a pair of legals.
And a pair of legals as well.
Yes, I'm 2 lawyers.
Yes, that's what I believe.
So, I mean, it's jumping. It's jumping. Let's see here. Make sure I don't snub this person again. And I didn't. So let's get to this next call. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Theo. How you doing, man?
All right. What's up?
Is this me?
It's you.
How's it going?
Okay.
Good.
Sorry, hold on. I've been on hold for so long. I wasn't expecting to even get on. Anyways, how's everybody doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm okay, ups and downs.
Good.
I actually hit you up on Patreon because I just became a member and I want to talk about pest control jobs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I just got this job as a pest control technician.
Can I ask?
What?
I want to ask before you get into this. Are you anyone but a cis dude?
Anyone but a what?
Cis dude.
A cis dude? What do you mean?
Well, this is a call-in show with a theme, and we're gonna have to take your call next week. Sorry, but we're gonna take the next call.
That's uncomfortable for me.
Sorry. I don't know what to do. I mean, I feel like that's the rules.
It is the rule. Them's the
rules.
rules.
I just said it.
Them's the rules.
All right. Next call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm sorry. I was playing video games while I was on hold, so I was a little unprepared by that.
Okay. What's up?
What's up? This is Austin. I'm a non-binary fella from Columbia, South Carolina. I use they, them pronouns.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We should just, I hate to make that a requirement for the ABCD show, but we should make it, you got to give your pronouns.
All right.
But then I feel bad about that, because what if somebody doesn't want to?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard.
Just pay attention.
The ABCD show
Just pay
is
attention.
Something. What's up, though? How you doing tonight?
Well, I do want to say for me personally, the pronouns, it's a nice shorthand way of expressing my identity. So it's something I'm cool with leading off with on the back.
Yeah, it just is. It feels unfair. It feels unfair to make a show like this where we're doing something very specific in order to get voices on the air that maybe wouldn't call on a normal week or just that, again, I said this last week, but the bonus content this month is very dudes rock. And it's good to let people on that aren't, cis dudes.
If people don't want to say their pronouns, they can just say their ABCD, and then we know that they know
That's
the deal.
true. Yeah. I like that. So what's up this week?
I mean, nothing much. It's been a little uneventful. I've been getting back into skateboarding recently.
Okay.
Which maybe not the smartest thing to do with our healthcare system, but you know what? Why not have some fun?
No, yeah. I mean, you can't worry about that. That's the kind of stuff you can't really worry about. You just got to be like, and I've actually heard, my daughter told me that a lot of people have gotten into skateboarding during quarantine. That's been like in her school, a bunch of people. She wants to, but I have a feeling she wouldn't do it. So I just am like, I'm not gonna waste the money on the skateboard.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, definitely like wheeled outdoor sports are really big because like it's really hard to find a pair of roller skates on Amazon, so I've heard. And that's just something that's really gotten a second wave. And I think skateboarding's been boost, especially because the new Tony Hawk game just come out. In fact, that was the game I was playing while I was on hold.
Oh, how's that game?
It's a lot of fun. I love the game. I love the classic games as a kid, and I thought it really did it justice.
Yeah, I should look into that. I should get that on the Switch. That sounds like something I need to own.
I don't think it's on Switch yet.
Oh, boo. Well, it will be.
Yeah.
I loved Tony Hawk back then. The game was a big fan.
Watching John play it is like makes me want to get it, but I'm like, I don't have the time to do this. But God, I want to just do one like 1,000,000-point grind real quick.
Who do you watch play?
John Cullen.
He plays?
Yeah, he's set the world record a couple times.
He's really good at it.
He's like a top 10 player in those like speed run things.
Look at John. I didn't know.
Dude, the funniest thing in the world is the first time the video, I'm going to dig it up and repost it, but the video when he got sixth in the world on some run, and somebody was asleep at his house and he couldn't be loud, but he was like, "Oh my God, holy shit, I can't believe I did it. Yes, let's go." Like he couldn't scream. He wanted to yell, but he was very polite about it. And this is the funniest video.
He said that there's a lot of times where Becca is asleep.
She was
and
during
he's
this.
sitting in the living room listening to new metal and playing video games, and he like can't get excited or anything. So he has mentioned that. I didn't know he streamed though.
Yeah, I think that's what kicked it off. But he's been following it up with like more legendary runs. Like he snags all the tapes and everything. He's good.
Get it, John. Get it. We love you, my hero. This month, actually, the PODcast bonus show is the two guests are Stephen Heck and Brett Payne. So.
Wow.
Mine and John's co-host.
That's a full crossover.
Yeah. It's 100% full crossover, but it's not a crossover, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because it is a crossover, but it's not a crossover because... You know what I'm saying. It's a weird... Is that a crossover? What is that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think
it's a reorg.
I do not want to fuss over semantics that much.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a mix-up. I'm gonna call it a mix-up.
Yeah,
a mix and match.
A mash-up.
Yeah. So, did you have anything else?
Yeah. So I've actually started. I took a bit of a break this month, and I chose a hell of a time to take a break from it. But I've been starting writing my own sort of like a anarcho lefty sort of newsletter, just so I can kind of have an outlet.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. I've been really enjoying that. And
yeah, I think, sorry, but there's a lot of times things like artistic endeavors for regular people like writing or drawing or painting or seem like, why would you do that unless you make money off it? But it is like a rewarding thing to do regardless if it's something you enjoy, to write,
Right. And the ultimate end game is like I make a little bit off it. Like I started a Patreon just cause, which is mostly just like, a handful of my friends give me $5 a month. Hooray.
Yeah.
That's how you start.
Hey,
that's how you get started.
That's a start. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just doing what I can to make something out of it, building a small little community. And I don't know. I mean, I took a couple weeks off because there was just so much happening, but hopefully I'll be getting it back up and rolling this week. So I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, y'all were kind of an inspiration for it, I'd say.
Oh, thank you. We need more anarcho stuff out there, I think we hear a lot of the I think it's always helpful when you hear like the anarchist perspective that's not totally tied to, I don't know, like for me it's like you're either doing Proudhon quotes or like saying property is theft, but those voices don't get out very much. And like me and Brett...
It's largely like...
Sorry, me and Brett don't really... What's the word? We don't... We're the only people a lot of times that are saying that, and we don't do a great... Well, no. Okay. We don't do a great job of being anarchist on this show, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. We're the only people that do it, and we don't do a very good job of being anarchist.
Right.
That was where I was going.
Okay.
Trust me, it was always headed in a low self-esteem direction.
Sure.
There's never going to be a time.
I mean, yeah. my big guess overarching things. I write about stuff in public interest. Like, growing up in the South all my life, I do kind of like give more of a lean on Southern stories. Like, one of the last like full articles I did was I talked about like HGTV, specifically Chip and Joanna Gaines, and like the stupid gentrifying bullshit that they pull.
Yeah. Oh, the gun people.
Yeah.
The gun couple. Is that Chip and Joanna Gaines,
no,
or am I wrong?
No,
yeah, that's a different version of. That was like a bizarro version. Yeah, I mean that's what pretty much. Chip and Joanna Gaines are from that TV show with like that like.
It's a home run.
Their home.
Show.
They put shiplap on everything. Yep. If you ever, that's where shiplap came from. They have a Target. They have a Target center. It's like a beautiful woman with like this disgusting man. It's like a Jim Belushi type sitcom situation.
Okay.
The way that I described their relationship with Chip and Joanna Gaines is both of them individually fulfill an archetype in like Southern social circles.
Okay.
Joe is a white passing woman of color.
Okay.
Right.
I feel like that's something that's like, your classic upper middle class walk, like having their social circles, and her husband perfectly fills the archetype of the gay passing straight man.
Okay. Also, he's like a football. He's an athlete guy. He just seems he's like a guys that played football in high school or something.
Yeah, they both like went and met at Baylor, which is one of those big Christian private schools in Texas.
Yeah, and they go to one of those anti-gay churches, and pretty much they set up Edison light bulbs and like they are the gentrifiers, like Bible.
It's a whole industry, and like it goes so much deeper. And like Citations Needed just happened to do a podcast about other HGTV shows at the exact same time I was writing this, so they go really deep into that too. But I'd say the Gaines are like really big into pretty much every awful home design trend you can think of. Like, you can trace it back to them.
Yeah, they've done it. They're doing it big.
Okay. Well, I will check them out. I'm going to check them out. Just watch their show. I'm
probably seen the show.
Going to go ahead and take the right lesson and watch their show. Maybe toss them a few bucks.
I mean, even just in airports and stuff, I probably watched 20 hours of the show.
Yeah,
because it's on whenever public TV is on.
Right.
Fixer Upper.
No,
right. Basically, it's a waiting room show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like Love It or List It, and a lot of times what I'll do is, whenever they say, we got to decide what you're going to do, I go, list it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because something about me is I like buying new stuff. So I would always list it.
Right.
List it.
Get rid of it. Something new.
This old house is boring.
It doesn't make me feel good anymore. I want something else.
Remember how good I felt when I moved into this house? Boring. List it.
I want that again. I want to move into a new house again.
I need the new feeling again.
Well, I guess in that case, I should bow out to the next callers, as I don't want to take up too much airtime in the queue. But
no
mind if I plug my stuff real quick?
No,
fuck yeah, go for it.
All right, so I'm on Twitter at Zoloft Deschanel, which is like Zoe Deschanel, but it's the antidepressant.
Right. Great name.
I think I'm on that now. I am on Zoloft.
Give me that ZOLOFT. That's a Ween song.
But anyway, so the newsletter, which hopefully it should be getting back up soon. I do like 2 articles a month, and then every weekend I send out a set of links.
Wow.
The newsletter is called Hayseed Heresy. It's at papajohnspizzeria.substack.com.
Okay. That's you got a good name.
Yeah, I dare them to take it from me. But
you're also going to peel off a lot of people. A lot of people are looking for a pizza, and then they're like, "Well, I'll take this instead."
What's this guy talking about? But yeah, so hopefully there'll be more cool stuff coming from soon, and I'm thanks for the opportunity to talk about it on the show. So y'all take it easy.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
See ya.
Boom, boom, boom.
Well, I'm still feeling real bad about that guy. I wanted to talk. I mean, any other week, pest control would be a high level subject for me.
I mean, he'll be fine.
I feel bad.
He'll get babied, just like every guy does. He'll get babied. And no, I'll send him a message and tell him just to call back next week and he can go first in line. It's that easy. That's all that happens.
Okay.
We'll answer his call first next week.
I don't feel bad at all anymore.
He'll be okay. I can send him a sticker. Or like a magnet. We got magnets now.
Yeah, I just so people don't listen every week.
I know.
And it's like he wasn't being He wasn't being malicious or anything. And then he calls and we're being all like, yeah.
I was feeling bad.
What? Really?
Yeah, Kristen, I could just feel the energy coming off of you. You were. It was too much.
There's nothing haunted in Ohio.
My house is haunted. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. My name is Taylor. Pronouns, I guess she, her, mostly.
Wow.
These days.
See, this is the way I think it has to happen now. You know?
Okay.
Because the whole really? Oh, that doesn't work at all. People don't get that hint, which I don't even know what that hint is.
I think
to tell you the truth,
this is a great learning process.
What is that? What is that voice?
It's just reluctance. It's just like I don't want to assume.
Well, that's how I feel too. Like I'm not going to be assuming shit on this show, but
there's no reason to. But there's just something inside of me that was like, I don't think you know it's happening.
Yeah.
You know?
So what's up tonight? Is it Taylor? Taylor, right?
Taylor, yeah.
Trying to remember everybody's names now.
Good idea.
It's I felt the same way, like listening. So like you're definitely not alone. Like when you sort of get the vibe, like, is this? But you don't want to assume, like, yeah.
That's the thing. It's so weird because you just want to come right out and ask. But you also like feel like you might hurt the feelings of the person. And me and Brad are so conscious about like, I don't want anybody to feel bad listening to this show.
Well, I think this is, people do recommend doing this, it streamlines things immediately. So I think this is a good representation of like how to solve this problem is, from the beginning is just figure it out. Then there doesn't have to be any sort of like, presumptions made. It's
but
just,
you can also try my
your Vincent Price thing, whatever it is, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh. It was like a baby. It's like I was talking to a baby. Really.
Yeah, the kid gloves are on. Sorry.
I'm a fucking weirdo.
Okay,
Okay, Taylor, what's up?
Taylor's show, not their show.
Cool. Yeah, no, I guess I've been listening since like 2017, and I've never called in, so it's kind of cool to do that now. Like I saw ABCD was happening, so I was like, yeah, I'll hop on.
Thank you.
But I guess like I kind of called in to talk about like colleges because I'm at college, like technically, right now. Like an online school sucks.
Yeah. That's tough.
Gwen's trying to go back. I mean, if you could, so do you think that if they were like, hey, we can make this safe for you, would you rather go back in the situation that you would have to be in to go back now, which is, obviously very reduced class sizes, all the windows open, all the sanitation that's not happening? Or are you like, this online shit sucks, but this is just what we have to do?
Well, I actually did apply to, I was going to come back to campus, on campus in the dorms because my family has not been super approving of, and it's been it sucked quarantining with my family.
I gotta say, that's something that I had heard rumblings of from people, not like I had heard that there were a lot of like trans students and a lot of people that went to school and sort of came out because they felt safe at school and then got sent home and had to go back to and like that's for an adult, which you are, that is like the worst sort of thing to be involved in, because that really makes it hard for you to grow and feel confident, even like without the trans stuff. It's also hard just to be confident as I am an adult. I am in charge of my destiny. I pick what I do.
Yeah.
When you're with your parents.
Right. Yeah.
And like a lot of people have a lot of trouble doing that. Oh, like I didn't move out. I got kicked out when I was 19. And like I still had like a lot of trouble after I was kicked out. You know, like realizing like they don't have any power over me. I am who I am,
Yeah.
and I am going to be that person. So I empathize in that regard, because like it's even just hard enough to become. It's even hard enough to accept yourself as an adult, but when there's this other thing that's happening and people aren't accepting of that, that's got to be a very difficult situation.
Yeah, that's like exactly how I felt. Like it was on top of this thing that like anyone can relate to, like your parents, like wanting to live with your parents, like when you're an adult,
Mhm.
being at college, and yeah, it was just like it was not good. And I was like at the point where I was like, at first I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna go back to school. They're gonna open it up, because my school, I go to UMass Amherst, and they like told everyone basically they would let anyone that wanted to come back to the dorms. So a bunch of people were going to come back to the dorms, and like I was aware that like I was probably going to catch COVID. Like there's no way to social distance at college. Like just going to rip through it. The people are going to party and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I just basically said like I'd rather get COVID than stay here. And then the school basically said that they changed their mind and they weren't going to let people back on campus, which was weird because like that's a good idea. Like that's the smart thing to do. Like you're probably saving lives doing that, but also at the same time, like kind of sucks for me until I had to figure out what to do, and I was like pretty close to like just couch surfing or like maybe even living in my car, like just because I needed to get out of my parents' house like that badly.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting an apartment with some PUA money that I got basically, and so it's going pretty good now. But it's the other thing is that here in Amherst, there's been an outbreak because of students. You know, UMass is like known as a party school, and there's like UMass Slammers. So that's the other side of it, is that like I feel like college kids are also like fucking over all the places that they coming to party in, you know.
I gotta say, and like this, I was on campus. I mean, I walk on campus every day, but I spend all my time outside and away from people. And I always go, instead of walking on the main road, I walk on 4th Street, which is a little less traffic heavy when you're walking. But I had to stop. I ordered Blaze Pizza, which is open till 2 a.m. And I just get it all the time now on the way home the other night because I was just so hungry. I'd walked all day and ate like the smallest cheeseburger ever made. And Katie and Gwen were hungry, so we were like, let's get Blaze and we'll just pick it up so we don't have to wait for the Grubhub driver, the Uber Eats driver, because we just have the worst luck with them. The worst on the planet luck with them. And I stopped in there and I walked into the place, and they weren't following capacity rules at all. And those masks were in various places that weren't over their nose and mouth. And I just said, you are fucking adults, all of you. Every one of you that's here at 11 fucking 30 are adults. You have to do the thing. And then you, Brett, fucked me up terribly.
What?
Because then it became a thing where I'm waiting for my pizza and I look and people are talking loudly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this fucking guy has probably been to 7 clubs this week and is just in here, blah, 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 blah. I'm partying. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'll never go in there again. It was like a fucking haunted house, Brett. It was. I was fucking terrified in there. And that's like, I don't know why.
Prop the door open. It's going to be cold. I'm just telling you. I'm serious. This is for people that are working people. I want to say, do not let your boss let you get COVID. Like, open the fucking door and prop it open.
The people that were cooking were also in various stages of, oh, I'm going to pull it down for a few minutes
breather
and shit. Yeah. So it's, I mean, I think, like, I understand. I mean, you got an apartment, so now you don't have to deal with the parents thing. And believe me, I just want to tell you, don't deal with your parents. You don't. I know it might seem important to you now, but I told my parents basically to go piss up a rope years ago, and I see them 4 times a year, and they're very happy to see me. But they hold no power over me other than the mental illness that they fucking heaped on me as a kid. But like, I don't let them, you know, sort of take your identity away from you and stuff. You, like that, you're brave to have come out, and I'm sure that there were signs that your parents might not handle it well from the beginning, and like. It's something you should be very proud of, and it's something that it's a brave thing that you did. So, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm definitely like right now. I'm very, very glad that I have an apartment, and like they actually like ended up deciding to like help me pay for it since I'm studying right now too. So it's like, it's weird that like they basically like sounded like they like didn't want to support me at all. Like not like because I'm trans, but like just because like,
sure.
I don't know. They just didn't want to like give me any money.
I know that feeling.
But no, I'm totally, yeah. No, like once I actually did, they were like, oh, we did it for your brother. So like, you know, we have to help you out in these ways or whatever. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful like that I have a roof over my head, even if it's like leaks sometimes in here and stuff. But
yeah, you know what? Maybe they. I mean, you know, and sometimes parents fudge things up. Maybe they just didn't want you to make a plan for your life that included like a stipend from them. You know, like that's just you go out and do it by yourself, and if you get there, then then they that's why they offer that money.
Yeah, my parents were sort of the mind that it was like, well, my parents were of the mind if you don't get a job by the end of this week, you're kicked out of the house, and then told me to fuck off. But it was kind of like I had lived there for a year, and I worked sporadically because I didn't have a driver's license or a car. And like, it just became this thing, and like I harbor a ton of resentment for it. But the thing about that is I don't have to hang out with them, and I don't have to see them. And like, I mean, I'm not going to like put that on your parents, but your parents seem to maybe have some of the same philosophies that mine did about like, you know, it's more about like, you're an adult and you have to just be an adult now, you know, like no matter what they set you up for on the way out the door, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird because like they're like kind of lonely now, and like they want to like talk to me and they're like, "Oh, why don't you come home? Like, why don't you come visit us? Like, we're only an hour and a half away." It's like, bro, like.
Well, if you can get
anyway,
get free food and laundry and shit, like that's something that can make it worth it.
My parents did the same thing too. Taylor, my parents, they still say like, "Oh, it sucks we never get to see you," and it's like, should have fucking thought about that. Should have thought about that when I was 9.
Yeah.
It was the best thing in the world when I got my first apartment, because I went away to college, but I came home the summer after my freshman year, and I was like, never again. I don't care what happens. I don't care if I have to live out of my car. I am never living in this house ever again.
Yeah. And hey, I'll tell you what, you're saying the roof leaks sometimes. Let me tell you, when I was like, it was probably 29, I was living above a Mexican food restaurant that had reggae night every Thursday night, where they had a guy sit on the patio just outside my window and play reggae hits until 2 a.m. from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. And it infuriated me. Because it infuriated me because I am an open-minded music guy. I listen to all different sorts of music, and not reggae. Like, that's the one kind of music I've never been able to like get, And it was just every Tuesday and Thursday night, this guy was like, "We jam on," out on the patio, and people are just out there screaming until 3, and I had to be at work at 9 in the morning. And it was above a Mexican restaurant that fried their own chips, so the closets in my house were right above the fryers, so they smelled like the fryers,
greasy oil.
Yes. And no air conditioning, and it was above a restaurant where there's ovens running all day, and it was just miserable. But it only cost $185 a month for rent.
Wow.
And it was 2 bedrooms.
Wow.
Do you think you'd put up with that?
I think I
could. Brett would just go do reggae night. I mean,
yeah, I would just my life would revolve around reggae night. I'm like, no, I can't work that shift, or no, I'm not going to be up in the morning the next day. That's reggae night.
Well, but it always gets. I know it sounds corny, but like, you will upgrade over and over again until there's no leaking from the ceiling.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It really comes down to just a plan. Like, I think being in a miserable or shitty circumstances, like, if you know that in 6 months or 18 months you can find something different, sock away enough to get a down payment for a better place, or meet new people to find a better situation, is the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, like, I barely even care. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
That's even better.
No, it's just.
That's
no, it's. I'm just glad to be here and to be, be like free.
Yeah, of course.
Smoke weed whenever you want. I don't know if you smoke weed, but you can't do that. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Have a nice night.
Peace. Folks, we're going to have to hurry it up. We got a lot of people calling. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Stephanie over in Missouri. How are you guys?
Great. How are you, Stephanie?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry that Tony Hawk isn't on the Switch, Brent.
It's miserable.
But it's a good game if you have a different console or PC. I think it's on PC.
I mean, I've never played a PC game in my entire life, but I'll just wait till it comes out on Switch. I'm a big boy. I can wait.
Okay. Yeah, and I hear you about SNL not being funny. It wasn't funny at all this last episode. It was, I usually at least laugh at something, but it was just nothing this time.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Like, no jokes? It looks like no jokes to me. That's the problem.
It's like there's like sketch skits where they have like a concept that should be funny, like, oh, Drew Barrymore is replacing Ellen or whatever, but it's just like there's no actual jokes.
It's just like a deadpan like impersonation of him, or
It's just like, well, there's nothing like humorous. It's just
Sure.
like if imagining a Drew Barrymore talk show and that's what happened. There's no surprise or like punchline or anything.
That's incredible. What if?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I can't watch it. I saw that they did the moment of silence for RBG, and I'm like all for you being like, ah, she's great, you know, she's a judge and stuff. But it's like, this is a comedy show, and it's bizarre to dress like her and do a moment of silence. That's just fucking a bizarre thing to do, you know?
Yeah, it's not a common custom.
No.
I mean, the push-up thing wasn't common either. I enjoyed that. I think maybe that her funeral did inspire me to have like somebody that knows me as the fireworks guy will come and let off fireworks at my funeral.
So I called in since it's the ABCD show, and I haven't called in yet. So thanks, guys, for having an ABCD show.
Not a problem.
To like just encourage different kinds of viewers to call in or listeners.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why we do it. Also, because we're angels.
Not ghosts. Not ghosts. We're angels. We're
Not
ascended.
ghosts.
We're ascended.
Yes, angels. That's the other reason. But, you know. What?
Nothing. I'm wet.
Brett's giving me a look like, eh.
No, I'm just sitting.
Is there anything else?
No, she's got to get started.
The main thing that I thought of as like a topic to talk about with you guys would be I've been working the census this year, which has been a pretty good experience.
Oh, you're liking it.
And-
Everybody that's doing the fucking census is liking it.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty chill gig.
It helps that they're paying me $21.50 an hour.
Damn.
And they're paying for when I drive too. So
Cheers.
It's like, of course I'm enjoying this.
How many steps
It's
you
really
pulling?
easy work that I'm being paid well for.
How many steps you pulling? Just out of curiosity.
Steps?
Yeah.
I'm not chained to the Apple Watch.
Oh.
Like my mom and husband, I don't pay attention to my steps.
Oh, jeez.
I get a lot more steps when I'm doing apartments than when I'm doing house to house.
Maybe the next time they do the census, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like people are fucking loving it.
I'll do this whole damn city in one
10
day.
years. Yeah.
10 years.
In 10 years, I'm going to do the census. Because the people that have called in and have been like, I'm doing the census, they're like, it's magnificent.
Yeah,
You
Lermy
get to
did it.
meet new people. You get
It's
to have the
pretty
time
much
of your
like the
life.
best way to like have a work setup because you work whenever you want to. You just put in the phone when you want to work and then you do it.
Oh, this sounds great. And it's just good money. It's like, that's a good
Yeah,
side
it is very good money.
That's like excellent side hustle.
No, it's not It's not available enough though. It's
I'll-
a good one-time thing.
Yeah. 10 years from now, I got a side hustle
Sure.
lined up.
Okay,
You know?
thinking ahead.
Who knows what I'm going to be making then, but I know one thing. I'm going to be making $20 an hour doing the census.
Yep. Certainly are.
One of the weirdest experiences was when I was going to a house and asking people like the census questions, and they kind of like stopped in the middle of the interview and were like, so how can I get a census job? And I was like, well, at this point, since it's like September, probably not this year. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they just like shut the garage door on me, and I didn't get to finish the interview with them.
Oh no.
So that was weird.
Hey, you know?
Like they
The thing is, like, if you can't get them a job, I mean,
Well,
you
good.
know, what are you coming to the door for? Is what they were thinking.
Do you have any have any like altercations or tense moments?
Not really. There was there's people who like try to talk to me through the door, like being like, "Who is it?" And then it's like hard to explain who I am, muffled through a door. That's just more annoying than an altercation.
Sure.
And yeah, most of the kind of guys who are like gruff and have like no soliciting signs and stuff soften up once you actually like explain who you are.
Okay.
I'm terrified to do that. I can't go up to somebody's door that has no, because I know they're evil.
Too intimidating?
Well, I've said this before, man. I think those signs are for intimidating people, scary people. I think that's and I'm sorry if somebody on hold or something has that sign. I think that's a very antisocial behavior to get that sign.
I honestly think it's very out of date. I think it came from a time when there wasn't like digital sales and stuff, and people were like going door to door and knocking on the door regularly. It is not something that happens at all to me. I'm home all day long, and besides voter people, I have not. The only thing I've been tried to been sold is pest control. There's a person that goes past door to door to sell pest control. Other than that, nobody has tried to sell me anything.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people come to my door quite a bit, but I just kind of felt like, well, I guess that's part of living in the city.
I used to get the people that want me to change my power supply, I guess, probably once every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
But not enough to put up a sign.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's fine. But, yeah, I'm glad you're doing it, and I'm glad it's working out well.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, in the training, they were saying, like, you can go up to houses that have no soliciting signs, because we're technically not solicitors, but to just skip over no trespassing signs.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, the really scary people have no trespassing.
That's true.
Both.
Yeah, every time Every time I see one of those, I'm just like, I don't even know why this is here. I don't want to have someone to explain it to me. I don't want to be a part of it.
I don't want to beat the guy that
Nope, don't put this up.
Nope. True. All right, well, have a good night.
I'll let you guys get to the next caller.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
We got a lot of calls here. So many. If we can try to do a lightning round, because I want to go home.
We'll see. Maybe not.
I want to go home and snuggle my wife.
We're going to do overtime, probably. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, I think I'm on. This is Jaya. What's up?
Jaya, what's up? How are you? This is Jaya Sudaresh from Jacobin.
I'm good.
How you doing tonight?
What?
I thought you were Jacobin. It's the other one, isn't it?
Oh, no. I thought you said from Jackson. I'm like, I'm from New York.
Oh, I'm going to but Jackson's a nice place.
Yeah.
I don't know,
sure
actually.
I'm from upstate, man. Yeah. No, I write from it's not Jacobin yet. Hopefully I get in soon, but no, I write for Current Affairs.
Yeah, I should have had your page up. I just was looking at Smokey and the Bandit models.
That rules.
That's me. What's up? What are you up to, Jaya?
Oh, I'm smoking. I shouldn't be smoking.
I'm gonna do that in 20 minutes.
Right now. I started smoking again.
Yeah, me too. You know what?
It's tough.
What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes
it's really fucking addictive. I mean, I just said the bad word.
You're allowed. You're allowed to on here.
We welcome it.
Here's the thing. It is horrible and bad, and it's a terrible habit. But once you've done it for a period of your life, you're probably going to go back to it every once in a while. It's something that I've accepted and is true because, like, all kinds of people go back to it. And here's the real fucking thing about it. It rules.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Well, you can say that. I think it rules. And that's why there's a problem with it. It's the same thing with my painkiller addiction.
Sure.
If I have to be very careful around painkillers because they fucking rule.
Sure.
You know? It's just...
They're a good time.
Yeah. There's just something about
how I feel about them. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Once you do more than 2 a day, then it's diminishing returns.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, it sucks. Like, the thing about addiction is like chasing that. It sucks that you have to change that feeling. Like, it feels like you should have unlimited chances at that feeling your whole life. Like, if you could have a good life, right, you would be able to have that feeling. And like, it wouldn't even be a pain in the ass to get. But it's impossible.
Yeah. Well, I quit drinking, so my sobriety date is coming up, the 22nd. I'm going to be a year, which best thing I ever did for myself. But
That's great.
It unfortunately has meant that I've been smoking a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was something with me too. Is like, I don't even know what happened on tour because it was just being away from home, and it was like, I'll take fucking anything to feel good, you know?
Yeah. Well, the other thing. Well, and also I think that you can't expect to turn your life around, like something drastic or as big of a change as like not drinking. I mean, you can find your way towards giving up cigarettes, at a time, but it's not going to be like you're going to be a whole different person, in any short period of time.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
While I got you, I was this Friday. I hung out with a friend of mine who has kind of fallen on some hard times. He's a ex-Politico guy. Now, not like Politico the magazine. He was like a political operative in New York, and now he's fallen on some hard times, and he's living with a friend of his who's a Trump supporter. Total, like, closeted gay dude, totally in love with my friend. And we had, like, the best time together, like, all the three of us.
Uh-huh.
We were just fighting about politics and trying to convince him that socialism is not, like, the worst thing in the world. And he was just like, not a socialist. Socialism is bad. And the point is, I smoked like 8 cigarettes, and it ruled.
Okay. Yeah, they're great.
That's my story.
When you're jaw jacking, when you're yelling at people, they do help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a good argument?
You're in a mobster movie. No, because his friend is kind of a moron. I hate to say that,
it's
but
the
like
worst feeling.
he was just like, his thing was that it was like, what did he say? He said, I like Trump because Trump does what he says he's going to do. And I go, well, okay, but Bernie says he's going to do what he's going to do too, right? He's like, yeah, but he's going to do socialism. I'm like, but at least he's honest, right? And he goes, no, he's a socialist.
What? Wow.
But he's an honest socialist.
Socialist is, yeah, it's a synonym with liar to a lot of people.
Sure.
Yeah. Like he couldn't get over. He is just the worst part is this dude is union. He worked for the Teamsters for 30 years, and he builds engines. He builds turbines for General Electric, which is like the big employer around here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, guys like that though.
It was so depressing.
Guys like that are Trump people. Trump speaks to something, and I said this during the debate. Like, I do see who he's talking to. During that debate, I was like, oh, I get it. You can watch him talk, and if you've met a Trump supporter and you've been around one and had like, one-on-one conversations or any of that kind of stuff, when you see Trump speaking like he did at the debate, you're like, I get why they like him. I don't like him, and I thought he came off like a fucking asshole, but I think that's what they like, I guess.
Yeah, just a
personality, It just sucks. It freaking sucks.
It's the worst.
And that's the reason why his ratings, I started listening to the beginning of the show, and then I went and picked up my boyfriend and came back, and that's why his ratings have gone down, is because his entire thing is being a hard dude, and if he displays some weakness, even necessary weakness, that's the reason why they hate Hillary, is because Hillary got pneumonia, and now Trump got pneumonia and is probably going to keel over in a few days. Inshallah. I don't know. I don't know what I can say and can't say, but
anything you want.
This show isn't. We aren't. It's after Safe Harbor, basically. So after 10 o'clock, you can say anything you want.
I know. I just don't want the FBI on my ass.
Yeah, you don't want to get. You don't want to get a Jake Flores. One of those old Jake Flores moves.
Yeah, don't want to get talked to.
Yeah, I don't want to get talked to.
Yeah,
either.
no, definitely don't want to. I just, there's an old Jewish curse that my best friend told me about, which is like for someone who dies who you liked, you say, may their memory be for a blessing. For someone who was a despot who ruined lives and stuff, you say, may their name be erased. So,
okay, yeah, I love it.
That's kind of what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool. Well, Jaya, we have a bunch of calls, and Brett's going to make me work overtime, which is against my union contract, but I might allow it. So tell people where to find you.
Okay, I'm at ShutUpJaya on Twitter. I've got a Substack newsletter called jayatime.substack.com, and I'm starting a podcast, you guys.
All right.
God knows we needed another one.
Yeah.
Watch my social media because I'm going on Instagram Live tomorrow to announce a bunch of things with my friend Andam Georgis, who is my dude. He's cool. You're all gonna like him a lot. So
great.
Looking forward to y'all checking that out.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Listen to him. See ya.
Bye.
All right.
Peace.
BP.
Yes.
We need to make a decision here. Okay, go.
Okay.
We're in lightning round.
Thanks
please.
for Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hello.
Howdy.
Hey, how are you? Who's this?
Hey, it's Jen from beautiful Ventura County, California.
Jen?
Have you seen this podcast? My pronouns are she, her.
Okay. How's it going? What's up?
Oh, not too much. I've just been listening to the show. I am constantly checking the LA Times wildfire map to see if any of my friends' houses are going to burn down. But other than that, it's a pretty chill night out here. How are you guys doing?
Okay. ABCD show is gone over. I mean, we should just do them every week at this point. I think it's gone over pretty well.
Yeah, lots of calls.
So that's how we're doing. Anything that's successful makes me feel good.
Well, you guys are giving a voice to the often voiceless, so, Except for me, I have my own podcast. So.
Yeah, what was the name of? I didn't hear that.
Oh, I have a
Have you
odd
seen
media
this?
podcast called Have You Seen This? Yes.
It's
with
Jen.
my co-host Tim.
You're supposed.
Yes.
Jen, I gotta tell you something. If you wouldn't have had to wait on hold. I would have let you right through. This is Balsonk on Twitter. I am a fan of Balsonk. I just didn't know. I didn't know it was you. I didn't want to assume. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, no sweat. I said I'd call, so I called in. I didn't know if there was a trick or anything.
There is.
I don't mind waiting. I just listen. I just listen to whatever. A couple of my friends were on. It was great to hearing Emma, who's a very good friend of mine,
She's wonderful.
and quite a few of my Twitter musos as well.
Yeah, I met her down in Atlanta.
Well, can I ask you, because this is what I told you we'd talk about, do you have any movie recommendations for
I
us?
have a good one.
For-
I have a really good one.
Brett,
you
you're
guys,
gonna...
huh?
I'm saying, Brett, you're going to want to listen because he has the same, sort of, I think you and him have a lot in common when it comes to movies.
Well, I hope that you guys will indulge me because the one I have this time is a little bit left field. For anybody who has the Shudder streaming service, and if you like the kind of very earnest sort of auteur
statements that you only find from complete lunatics, I highly recommend that you go over and watch Glenn Danzig's Veronica.
People have been trying to get me to watch this, and the thing is, I don't watch any animation at all.
It's not animation. It's live action. It is a horror anthology with 3 perfectly inert stories and lots of titties.
Wow. I'm going to watch it. I didn't know that it was, I thought it was a cartoon. So, which is what I call animation.
I believe it's based on a comic book series also penned by Mr. Danzig. And it is seriously one of the funniest fucking things I've seen in a long time. I had a tremendous belly laugh within like the first 2 minutes of watching it. It's absolutely delightful.
Does being like a person who's into Danzig or knows a bit about Danzig, does that help? Are you a fan?
Well, that's the thing, because I'm not really knowledgeable about Glenn Danzig beyond, like I know the song Mother and all that, but I don't know a lot about his music. He did do the music for this particular feature. He had quite a lot to do with this, and in addition to writing it, he also directed it. He's co-credited as cinematographer.
Wow.
You figure that he has to have like the final say on all the casting, because when you watch it, you're like, okay, did he just cast all porn stars?
I
mean, if that's his vision, I guess. So
I wonder if it's also
he is kind of living the dream.
I wonder if it also has something to do with like, is that who he could afford? Are porn stars? I guess you can probably get actors cheaper than porn stars, right?
Yeah. That is a very, very good question. I would think that porn stars, just like sex workers in general, at least the ones I know, tend to know their worth and like negotiate like very aggressively. Like they're at least the ones who have some experience in the field aren't just going to be like, oh yeah, like I'll go do your movie for like craft services and credit.
Right.
I mean, like, no, fuck you, pay me. Which that should be how it is. But
course.
in filmmaking on that, I don't want to say on that level, although it does look incredibly cheap. It's a couple of years old, so I don't know if Shudder footed the bill for any of it. They probably just picked up the streaming rights, because I think they very shrewdly know what they have here. It's something very much in the vein of The Room, like something that you watch with your friends and, you just get super high and laugh your ass off.
I want to watch it.
We might have to do that on the stream.
Yeah.
Or on the Patreon.
Veronica.
Well, we're actually going to cover it for Have You Seen This in an upcoming episode. In fact, I believe Tim and I are recording it this Thursday, but we're going to do something a little different for our show. We're going to kind of try to rewrite the stories into something that might actually be a narrative.
That's funny.
Narrative is not Glenn Danzig's strong suit.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He can write a story. He can write a story about a killer wolf in song form, and I got to tell you, he's great at that. I love the story of the killer wolf. He ain't no backdoor wolf. But he says it like this. I ain't no backdoor wolf.
Well, I honestly...
There is a wolf in Veronica.
Yeah, he loves wolves. He does.
I would figure Shudder would make a bigger deal out of having that, because for the price of the account, that is like a really good... I mean, you're going to pay $4 to rent it or $6 to rent it, right? If you digital stream it. That's really huge. And he has a lot of people that are interested in him. And like to Gen X people, he's like a big time fucking celebrity.
Yeah. He's as big as...
Yeah, well, the reason that I even knew about it was because they did like a big like email promo push for it. Yes. I got an email from Shudder saying, hey, look at what we got. And you can tell from reading the copy that they're, again, like they know exactly what they're selling here.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So I think they have confidence that it's going to be kind of a a cult favorite, like a lot of their movies. But this is a very special kind of cult movie.
Yeah, this one has. This is like a secret tape type movie. Like this is like a movie of lore. Like people heard that he wanted to make a movie, and he actually went and did it. It makes it easy to see.
Yeah, and you know what? Bless him.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Because,
follow your heart.
Yeah, making a feature is not easy. So, bless him for actually doing it. Excuse me. He actually, he obviously did assemble a crew and, put his vision on, I would say probably video. And damn it, it's a unique vision.
I gotta see it now.
Really
you sold me. Can I ask you one more thing before we get these last calls in? Is Shudder good?
Shudder is great. I think that my co-host is a very big fan of it because he just really loves horror in general. He's really into like horror anthologies and stuff like that. So he spends a lot of time watching it. We've also found some really good original content on there, like because he watches it all the time. He recommended to me a short series called Dead Wax. It's actually original content produced by Shudder, and that was really good. It's about people trying to track down a very malign piece of vinyl, a record that has a very pernicious effect on anyone who listens to it. And it was obviously like not a lot of money went into it, but it's extremely well done, like very cleverly made, and a very fun watch. And of course, they got all your favorites on there. Like I was watching Hellraiser the other night. They've got Phantasm. They've got some very good cultural documentaries about horror in general. One I believe called Black Noir, which is about African Americans in horror cinema. Another one called Cursed Films, which takes kind of a skeptical look at movies like The Exorcist or Poltergeist that have been described as cursed.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Shudder's doing really good content, and they're only $5.99 a month. So you can't beat it. I mean, fucking Netflix is $12.99 a month, and I rarely watch it. I'm more likely to watch something on Shudder.
So if there was one app, if you could only get one of the streaming apps, which one would you get?
Oof.
That's a really good question. Honestly, I'm ended up going with Hulu just so I could keep my my Spotify account. I get free Hulu with because I pay $9.99 a month for Spotify.
Right.
But really, you can make do very well with YouTube. I found I don't pay for YouTube. I just go on there and watch old ass History Channel documentaries, WWF matches from 1992, weird old documentaries about plane crashes. That's where the real shit is. And if you dig through YouTube, you're going to find a lot of good shit in there.
Yeah. Well, Jen, thanks for calling in. Tell people where to find you.
Oh, well, you can find us over at patreon.com/haveyouseentthis. You can find us on Twitter as well at HYSTpod. And I, of course, am very active on Twitter as Bosnonk. So come to Twitter and say hi, and please check out my show.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Jen. We really appreciate it.
Thanks again, guys. I've had an enjoyable evening tonight listening in. So
thank
it's been
you.
fun.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you.
That was sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Next call.
Shudder, I would say if you can subscribe and if you pay $6 for the subscription and you're looking for spooky movies, you can find so much stuff right now. It's absolutely worth $6 for 1 month.
Do you have it?
I don't have it right now because I have a Plex library. And last year I tried to get all the movies from the library when it was Halloween, and I realized you need to get Halloween movies in fucking April when no one is thinking about that stuff. So I have built up my library. I'm trying to watch one movie a day. This started strong. I watched The Beyond by this guy named Fulci. He has like a bunch of different movies, but he's an Italian dude, so it's kind of like the spaghetti western thing. The music is just so fucking bizarre. The effects are next level. The plot is like not very clear, but the movie was fucking sweet. But I have other movies I want to see. I have other movies on my drive I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
I watched Hocus Pocus and Beetlejuice yesterday, and then Addams Family today. It's been the family hits are tough.
Yeah. Katie that was the thing. Katie was supposed to go with them to see Beetlejuice and Hocus Pocus, and when she told me that, I was like, looks like Brian's gonna have a solo night. 'Cause I'll be damned if I watch Hocus Pocus. I don't want to go to the drive-in and be rude and be talking.
You know what though? Actually, I gotta say, Hocus Pocus, it's too wholesome for me, and I can't focus. But sitting outside, laying on a cot, watching it at the drive-in while drinking like a bunch of Busch Light was fun. And it was like the best. We got Taco Bell nachos, so I was eating Taco Bell nachos and watching it, and it wasn't that bad. It was the best way to see Hocus Pocus. But now that it's out of the way, I mean, what's next? Probably Paranorman, Monster House.
Those aren't bad.
Those are good kids ones. All right, sorry, it's lightning round. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Oh, hey, is it me?
You would know.
This is Arona in Virginia.
Hey, thanks for calling in.
How's it going? Yeah, actually, I tweeted at you, Brian. I'm the one who Facebook promoted an ad to me, like some speech that Charles Koch gave.
Oh, yeah.
To the Society for Human Resource Management.
This is great.
So, yeah, I wanted to tell you, I had a really awful job when I first moved to Virginia, but I was the HR generalist, and so my boss was, one of her friends was like, oh, make this person join the Society for Human Resources and, like, get their trainings. So I went to one of the conferences, so I thought I could tell you about that.
Yeah, absolutely. What goes on at a human resources conference?
So it was a 2-day thing, and honestly, I must have smoked a lot of weed, like in the morning before going, because I don't remember it that well.
Sure.
But the thing that a couple of things stuck out. So they had a little video in the PowerPoint to make sure we knew that we should always know in advance before a new employee shows up to the work site. Like, as the HR person, don't be surprised when a new employee shows up.
Yeah, that's, I mean, does that have to be said out loud?
Apparently. And so one thing they went through was how you should have salary bands for all of your jobs, right? Like, This is the range that we pay for this level. And they showed us that as you get higher up in the level, the range is supposed to get bigger. And they explained this is because, once you're a vice president, you can't necessarily get promoted, but you want to be able to continue, giving them raises.
Ah, yes, of course.
Meanwhile, the entry level people aren't getting promoted either, right?
Fuck, oh my God. Imagine just having that much extra money going around and being like, well, I have no reason to continue doing this. I have a house and several cars and everything's paid off, but I want to be able to earn more. That sucks.
Yeah. So the most awkward part of the conference was, I think it was the first day, towards the end of the day, the woman leading it asked, so who here is in a workplace that has a union? And a bunch of people raised their hand, and a bunch of people don't. I don't. I wasn't in a union workplace. So she says, okay, so maybe it was less than half the people raised their hands. So she goes, okay, well, that's great. So, if you don't have a union in your workplace, you want to make sure you don't get one.
I like that phrasing. That folksy kind of.
I raised my hand. I'm like, excuse me, my mom's a union member. She's a teacher. Like, I don't understand. What's the problem with unions? I was like, I'm just going to play dumb to hear what she said. And she just froze, and everyone in the room like turns around to stare at me. And she's just like, well, I'm going to be very careful with what I say here. Well, you know, a union, it changes the dynamic and the relationship in the office. So that's why you shouldn't have it. And then she quickly changed the subject.
I would have loved to have said, like, is it possible that you're saying that? I mean, here, listen. At a human resources convention, they're going to want to say, no, they're going to want to be like, we don't want unions. Because once you have a union, there's very little use for human resources. Like, they kind of serve that purpose. And so I can understand it at a human resources con. But it's like, don't say it like it changes the dynamic of the relationships in the office. The way that it does that is by you losing your job. Like, that's the dynamic change.
Honestly, like if it makes it easier, like they'll still have to have some human resource person, and then your job will be easier.
Yeah.
You know, like you only have to negotiate one salary, right?
Right. Yeah. So, it's less people. It's good for the company. Unions are great for the company. I really believe that anyway, you know?
I do too. I mean, my father-in-law is a mechanic. He does transmissions, and like he can't really afford to train people, so he recognizes the union does the training for him.
That's true. That's smart as hell.
So am I allowed to tell one more work story, or
Sure.
do I need to cede my time?
No, go for it.
Yeah?
Go, but we might rush you off when you're done.
Okay, if I get offended, I'll just subtweet you. So at my current job, I'm not doing HR anymore, thank God. And I basically doubled my salary by changing jobs twice in like 3-4 years. So my current job, since I'm in DC area, it's a membership association. So with COVID, there's the risk that the organizations that are members of that paid membership dues to us won't want to pay next year. So we've had these like really serious all employee meetings where the boss is like, yeah, this is really tough, but you know, you really wanted me to tell you what's going on, so that's why I'm telling you this, but it's tough. So he starts talking about these different cost-cutting measures we're going to do, and this is all over Zoom. So I put in a question, and like there wasn't a way to ask anonymously, and I guess I could have sent it to just like only the president, but I sent it so everyone could see. After he lists like the cost-cutting measures, I asked, you know, is senior leadership considering a pay cut?
Oh, God.
And the president, so the president sees the question and answers, and he's like, of course, I said everything's on the table. And, you know, then he just keeps on going.
Everything's on the table. Sorry, go ahead.
So my boss had to call me afterwards. And actually, it's because of listening to your show, I realized he was doing his HR speak with me. My boss says, this is a coaching opportunity for you.
And we'd identified one of your flaws, which is you asked a negative question about the boss.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, I work on a team that's like an affiliate of the parent company. So we're like a wholly owned subsidiary, but our funding stream is totally separate. So that was like 2 staff meetings ago. So then this month, when we had the staff meeting, my boss sends a message just to our team to basically be like, just so you know, if they just discuss the budget, this doesn't apply to us. So someone else was like, are you saying we shouldn't be in the meeting, or like we shouldn't ask any questions? He's like, yeah, if you have questions, just ask me later. Don't ask questions.
You know what's up.
You're the me of that workplace.
Yeah.
You're ruining your boss's
Yeah.
day by making it uncomfortable.
You also, but you kind of, I mean, in a place like in those big corporations or larger places, like you kind of force their hand where they like kind of have to tolerate it. Like, no, you're certainly allowed to ask anything. We said it was all on the table, but then in the back channel, they're like, get her fucking head on a table, on a silver platter.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, I felt like everyone deserved to know, and I know I didn't do my job well. Like, I knew I wouldn't get fired over it, so I felt safer asking. And, like, my team still pays, like, 10% of our boss's $1 million salary, so even if our budget comes from a different revenue stream, it still impacts us. So, yeah, I would say 10 out of 10, I would do it again.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, we love it.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you got to do if you don't have a union. Those are the kind of issues you bring up in front of your coworkers, and they have to grapple with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband likes to say that I'm HR's least favorite person wherever I work.
That's great.
I was too. So that doesn't. I see that as high praise.
Right? Me too. Well, have a great night, guys.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it.
That's good.
Yeah, that was awesome. Next call. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? And what's your pronouns?
Hi. This is also Kristen. I called. Is Kristen still there? I haven't heard her talk.
Yeah, she's here. I'm still here. I'm just chilling.
Hi, Kristen. Oh gosh, I feel so I feel so nervous because I don't want Brian. I'm just going to talk as fast as possible. So I know that last time I talked about a small business tyrant story that I had, but I wanted to know because I know, Brian, you were talking about the like, what would you do show when it's like I would mind my own business.
Yeah.
But what would you do? Because there have been several times, especially. This was before coronavirus, but as we like get back into things reopening, I go to breakfast at like cafes a lot, and there have been 2 separate instances where I'm like trying to mind my own business, eating breakfast, and I hear the guy who's the owner. He's like hired these like 18-year-old kind of girls, and he's telling them when the register's short, he's going to be taking it out of their paycheck, so they need to be paying attention to because he thinks that they're just being careless. So he told them that whatever shortage there is on the register, he's going to dock their pay, which is illegal.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know labor laws. So what would you do?
It's the same place over and over?
No, these are 2 different places.
Oh, wow.
But they're
well, the other place. Sorry.
No, go, please.
Oh, the other place, it happened again, so it's probably a pretty common thing. This other place, I was eating breakfast, and the waiter actually told his boss, I think he felt guilty about something, and he was like, well, if you need to take it out of pay, you can. Like, there was like, and the boss or whatever left, and a few minutes later, the guy walked past and I said, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And he looked really nervous, and he said, yeah. And I'm like, just so you know, she's not allowed to do that to you. I know that you offered because you're probably like nervous about it, but that's against California labor laws. So she like is not allowed to do that to you. And he looked so like scared. Like he just seemed so confused, but also like nervous. I don't know if he thought I was like testing him or something like that. Like I had been set up.
Just in the middle of a catastrophe, really. Like probably just terrified that is not going to have a job, even though it's a piece of shit job. And then now you've stepped in and just kind of legitimized it, like, yeah, this is an issue. You need to stand up for yourself. And they're like, I just want to come to work. I don't want to have things change.
Yeah, I think if you see something like that a few times, if you do have, I wouldn't make a big scene. because that's probably just going to get him yelled at the end of the day. But like, I'll say this. This is in no way defending a fucking boss. A lot of every job I've ever had in my life, the boss loves to do that joke. Hey, I'll dock your pay. You know?
So what would you do is that we watched it on the Patreon and John Quinones hosts it, and he sets up these outrageous scenarios and sees who will like get themselves involved. I mean, I have to say, if I heard somebody saying you're gonna get your pay docked for that, I wouldn't say a shit, because that's just like Brian said, something I've heard in every job I've had. So, but I think that you did the right thing in that, like, if you know better, or I think I don't ever hold it against somebody if they aren't a good Samaritan or don't do the right thing. I mean, we are beholden to our own like chemical responses to situations. But I think that if you have some regret about the way something was handled, I think just getting a game plan for the future is the way to do it. And it sounds like you did the right thing by just mentioning to that kid, whether or not like they took any of it in. It sounds like they were like their soul had left their body at that point.
Well, okay, the other instance though, so what happened was, I guess maybe I do need to mind my own business. So these girls, you know, like I was like them. I'm only like a little bit older than them. So, and I knew, you know, what it might be like for them to have this like 40-something-year-old guy be your boss, you know, and just like always be a total dick. And so he was talking to them about it, and I had to leave. So as I was walking out, I approached, it was him and three of the younger waitress, hostess, whatever, girls, and I said, I'm sorry, I know it's literally not my business, but I don't know if you're aware that it's illegal to take like lost money from the cash register out of your employee's paycheck. And just so I'm like, we're all here, we all heard it, you know, and so they don't have to confront him later.
Yeah, that's
so I
great.
don't know if that was bad
No.
or good, but I just said that, and then I like walked out, and I feel like other people probably wouldn't go back, but I still go back there all the time, and they haven't like poisoned me or anything yet. So
you're perfect. That's perfect way to do it. You shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't feel bad that you said that, and you just introduced the idea, and now they have to deal with it, and that manager has to acknowledge, and everybody heard it out in the wide open sun for us all to hear, that you're not allowed to fucking do it. And when they do the research, that's what they're going to find out. When both parties go home and do the research, they're going to find the answer to this question, you know? So I think you did. I mean,
he probably already knows.
Yeah.
But he knows that they don't know.
Yeah. Send me a message.
It just kind of made me angry.
Send me a message. I'll send you a Street Fight shirt as a reward for your
Really? Oh my god.
good deed. Yeah. I'm gonna do, this is my John Quinones moment.
Yeah. John Quinones doesn't even get prizes.
What was it about those young women that made you want to step in and give them a hand?
You know, I would just do what any other good American would do.
That's what they, yes!
Doing my job.
Yeah, that's the show.
All right, well, I'll let you guys go, get the rest of your calls in, but I just wanted to know what you would do and if you thought that what I did was appropriate. But you guys have a good night. This has been an awesome show.
Yeah, you did great. If you have the stomach for it, I am all into getting in other people's business. It's hard to do. It's hard to feel secure. You have to feel rooted. You have to be like, I don't give a fuck about whatever happens in the scenario. But interjecting yourself into something like that, especially when you're right as hell. Like when you're right as hell, you can be as annoying as you want. That's what the basis of this show in a lot of ways is, just pointing out how awful people are based upon evidence and facts, and how bad the country is, and how shitty workers' rights are. Just literally pointing at the evidence. So they can't fuck with that.
Yeah.
All right, last call.
Oh, last call.
You know what? We're doing this. We're going long. We're not doing overtime tonight. We're doing the amount of work that a woman would have to do to get paid as much as we do. This is recognition of the pay gap. This is not overtime.
True. That's true.
Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Am I on?
Yeah.
Yes.
You get the
Oh my God! I can't believe I'm the last caller. This
get
is
the
Sia.
final
I
word.
use she/her pronouns.
Howdy, Sia.
Sweet.
Hello.
I said sweet.
So, the thing I was going to talk about, because it is the ABCD show, is basically how I figured out that I am not a cis guy.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sounds like
perfect last call.
Yeah, it's very on theme. A lot of it has to do with music.
Oh.
And so a lot of my experience with it is related to seeing specifically Sarah Taylor in Youth Code. She is the front woman of Youth Code. I want to say it must have been early 2019, maybe.
Okay.
But I'm not going to assume anyone knows dick about Youth Code, because they're just this LA industrial-ish band.
Uh-huh.
But Sarah Taylor is this extremely punk-ass, lefty-ass, like radical vegan woman who does these screamy-ass vocals. And so I go to this show where I'm seeing Health, and Youth Code is opening for them, and I listen to their music ahead of time, and I'm like, not in the screamy stuff at the time. I go, and the people, I don't go to, I pick the worst fucking time to get into music shit. Because I got super into live music and music production in 2019, and now it's all shut down for now.
Hey, I'll tell you, all my life I just wanted to be in a touring act, and it finally happened in 2016, and then 4 years later, it's gone.
Since I've been like 14 years, since I've been 14 years old, I've probably seen live music once a month or once every couple months. Like, it's a big part of my life. It's very weird not to have it right now.
Yeah, and realistically, if I had that experience, I feel like I would have, because I'm 26, I probably would have figured out my gender identity maybe sooner, insofar as seeing live music. I get a lot of emotions of relating to the people on stage, and so that'll bring it back to Sarah Taylor. But the people that played even before Sarah Taylor, people I have not been able to track down to this day. They're just some no-name local people with modular synths or whatever. But it's this, from what I could tell, this trans femme person just with a ton of fucking equipment, just going wild with this pseudo-experimental shit. And that was the first kind of inkling of, oh, I want to be her.
Yeah.
before I even knew, I had grappled even with my identity as a bisexual person. That was a lot to me.
Sure.
And so the idea of oh, what if I don't identify with maleness, even considering I've hated everything about maleness my entire life.
All right.
But Sarah Taylor from Youth Code comes on stage and is screaming, because that's what she does. Her vocal part in Transitions, which she's not a trans femme person, but it's a song about being born in the wrong skin.
Yeah.
And I'm just in that live music atmosphere, not in the pit, but I'm on the border of it with my sister, and I'm kind of having that emotion of just what, this is resonating with me and I don't know why.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's a whole year of this kind of like perfect storm of, because I was really into working out at the time, and it's fallen off only because of COVID, really. So I'm like listening to music when I'm working out, and after that concert, like, seeing her, and like, I thought I wanted to be the first act, but I really wanted to be Sarah Taylor. So I'm having all of these times of like working out, listening to transitions where she is screaming, "I fell to this earth in the wrong fucking skin," and I'm like, why do I relate to this so much?
Yeah.
And then eventually, maybe like 5 months later, like the absolute like egg cracking moment, like before I make a beautiful omelet of transitioning, is I'm talking to my Muay Thai trainer, and I'm like, hey, I want to try to incorporate some lifts that are good for Muay Thai. And so she's like, well, what are your other goals? And it's just like aesthetic. And she's like, well, what kind of aesthetic? And the immediate thought I have is like, well, I want to look like a woman. So
yeah.
And then I do I do the mental translation of like, well, I can't say that.
Right, right.
So I'm just like, okay, I want a big ass. So, and then like gradually, like 3 months later, I look at my wardrobe and like I realize I have all women's clothes in there, and I'm like, you know what? I should just like be a woman. And then immediately, like, an entire fucking world was open to me, and I am much happier now.
So it was just like you caught the momentum of that show and just kind of kept running with it?
Yeah. Well, and like, even now, like, that was, a year and 3/4, let's say a year and 3/4 ago. And now from that time, I remember when I got home from that, and my sister had bought me a hoodie because it was near my birthday. And so I'm wearing this hoodie, this health hoodie, and I'm like looking at the MIDI keyboard that my partner bought me years ago that I had kind of toyed with, but I hadn't gotten good with. And I was like, yeah, I'll fuck with this. Like this environment, and there's something magical about this, that like there's something here that I need to chase. And I had spent the last 10 years like kind of like bouncing between traumatic events, and I had finished college by then, but I'm working as an office drone or whatever, kind of just doing what I think people are supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I realized like I can do what I want. You don't have to. I don't know. I was living in a really, really, really small box, and it's hard to see the boundaries of the box when you're in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I believe that. I mean, I've probably had some experiences like that.
Yeah.
Well, because it's all identity. Like I'm not even gonna, because I know I've listened to, I think like I've been an off and on listener of Street Fight only because of I don't listen to podcasts as often as I would like to. But I mean, you guys know, like you guys have struggled with identity too, in the same way that everyone else has, but just in ways that use different adjectives than gender. And so that kind of self-determination of like, I don't have to be the person I am now. It is never too late to be the person that you want to be.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I went through that with the job, with the career.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking being like, I'm not. This ain't who I am. I'm out of here. So, and it opened my life up to do this. So, that's absolutely true. Well, hey,
and it's also one of those things where I thought for some reason at 26 that was too late to transition, which is this dumbest thing in the world to think. There are people that transition at like 60. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I
But
didn't even.
Now I'm like,
I didn't quit my job till I was 32. So.
And one of my friends, her, one of her parents didn't transition till she was your age, till like she was your age. Then her parent transitioned then, so they were already like in retirement.
It is never too late to decide who you are. And like now I've dedicated like a year solid to like getting better at music production, and I have like an annual mixtape that I'm working on. So like, and the walls, it feels like the walls that were around me have shifted, and it feels like I can do anything now. And so it's just kind of like, I wanted to just say this on the radio show of just like, if you feel something stir within you when you experience something, always chase it. Because the worst you can experience is, well, I didn't like that as much as I thought I did.
Yeah. I see that for sure. I try to live my life the same way. Really.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
I know you guys are running along. I'm just gonna real quick say I make music at deadgirlcity.bandcamp.com. I just put out a single last week, I think.
Send us a link to the email, and we'll get it on the air.
Oh yeah, thank you guys.
Well, no problem. Have a great evening.
Right. You too. Take care. Get some rest, and keep being beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
I am beautiful.
That was the ABCD call-in show. Guy that got hung up on. Send me another message. I'll find you anyways. We also, this is not an ad, but Brian brought over the Trolley Sour Crunchy Crawlers, and they are a goddamn hit.
They're the fucking best candy out there, other than the Mellow, obviously, on them shelves.
They're like crispy on the outside. They have a hard candy shell that breaks down like a Skittle, basically. It's like a Skittle shell around a gummy. It's the best. Very good stuff. Highly recommended. Like I said, we are in Shocktober, so right now Brian is doing doing the Shocktober thing. They just did the episode with Opie and Anthony. Brian has a new co-host this time around, Chris James. You know him from Not Even a Show. You've probably heard him on your Kickstarter Sucks. Very funny, hilarious guy that has a really good depth of knowledge when it comes to that kind of stuff. If you want to hear that, head to streetfightradio.com. Head to patreon.com/streetfightradio to listen to that. You can sign up for $5 a month to get the premium audio stuff. We have zines coming out as well. This month, you're going to get Religion and Activism. You can get those for $3 a month or $8 a month for the entire package. And then we have digital versions of Shocktober and Holy Boys available. And we're doing a pre-order and fundraiser right now for the Providence Food Not Bombs. You can head to store.streetfightradio.com, get the new Street Fight Radio Skull Tee available in long sleeve. That long sleeve version, the price is like outrageous. But that's what it's union thing, and like printing on the sleeves just adds, it's like half the price of like you have a regular t-shirt price, then you make it long sleeve, you add another half of a shirt, you add printing on the sleeves, that's another half shirt, so now it's like 2 times the price of a regular fucking t-shirt. But it looks dope, and it's union printed, and it's made in America, so it's like, it's done right, and it's a fucking sick shirt. And we're going to make sure that, an artist gets paid. And, we got to start covering some of the tour money that we're losing. Because putting out all these zines and doing all that we're doing, we really need the bump. So head to store.streetfightradio.com. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, check the page. I'll send a message sometime this week. But you can get 20% off anything in the store, including that pre-order. We appreciate everybody that supports us and keeps this thing rolling. It's only because you do that we spread this mess across the U.S. We'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.